Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are, here or there. And here, there, everywhere, on the flat earth baseball field, underneath the Astrodome, at first base, second base, or third base, or sadly slipping on home plate. Whatever your location, greetings. Thank you for being here today on Geaux Stros. We are here for Game 2 at home in Daikin Park versus the Texas Strangers. You know what? The Arlington Strangers. I've never understood why they were allowed to call themselves Texas. I always think it's presumptuous and ridiculous when a team names themselves after the entire state. You know, if your state is very small and they can't really support one team, much less two, then fine. Call yourself after that state. If it's state sanctioned, state approved, and people supported, why not? But I can guarantee you that all of the people in Texas do not support the name Texas Rangers. Here's another team in Texas. It's a big place. There never should have been a team called Texas. I've never understood that. That would be like one of the California teams being called California. Like, what if the Angels changed their name to the California Angels? Wouldn't that be strange? That's the way I feel about Texas Rangers. That's right. It's no different. Daryl, you're exactly right, 100%. The Texas Astros. What's the difference? There's no difference. San Antonio and Austin go for the Astros. That's right, they do. Actually, it's funny because whenever the Astros play in Arlington, there's a good amount of Astros fans there. You can hear some people booing for Altuve or booing against Altuve when he comes to the plate, and you can hear no less than half of the crowd cheering for him. When Altuve hits a home run or the Astros hit a home run, they're playing a big game, like a playoff game or something like that, the crowd is bipolar. You can hear half of them cheering for the Astros and half of them booing, you know. Lots of Astros fans show up to Globe Life Field in Arlington. See a lot of interesting characters at the game. I love that big lit up necklace sign. That's hilarious. Well, AJ Blueball is finally on the mound. I think we all kind of expected that to happen one way or the other, right? Shake, it's good to see you today. Welcome to the chat. Welcome back. Daryl, same to you. Hope you're doing well today. I wish you nothing but the best. Brendan, hi to you as well. Welcome in. Angel Man of Culture, welcome back. Yes, yet another game that is a must-win for us indeed. I absolutely agree. This series is a must-sweep series. I don't know if any of you do this, but sometimes I go watch some of the podcasts for the other team whenever the Astros win. I like to go watch the podcast for the other team, and it's not to drink their tears, unless it's the Yankees or the Dodgers, of course. In that case, obviously, it's to drink their tears. But whenever we play a game like this, granted, it's not something I do all the time, but for games like yesterday where the Astros and the Rangers are at home in Houston, at the Astros home, rather, and it's a big game. The race is tight in the division. It's this late in the season. Everybody's worried. There's no margin for error. We can't mess up. We can't lose. Well, the Rangers are worse off than the Astros are. I mean, as Astros fans, people are always talking about, from my perspective, a lot of Astros fans are talking about the way they talk. It's as if they think, it's as if they think the Astros are actually worse off than the Rangers are. But look at the records, man. I'm sorry, but I just don't want to be in the Rangers' shoes. You're talking about dealing with the Astros and the Seattle Mariners? Are you serious? Do you really think? Why do some people think that the Strangers, I'm sorry, are such a shoo-in to beat the Astros when they're already a few games behind? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. I know that the Astros have had their struggles, but choosing to instead believe that the Astros will fall to third rather than the Strangers, I just don't think you're an Astros fan. Either you have some real big problems with negativity in your life, being a negative person who always looks on the dark side of things, or you're just not really an Astros fan, or a combination of the two. Something like that. Something like that. Howdy doody indeed. Daryl says our pitching needs to be there if we're going to win. Absolutely. And today we got a new starter on the mound. He's been doing some bridge relief work for us recently, and he's had some success at it. There's old Daikin Park. Come on, don't mess it up with a stupid logo. There we go. That's better. It's a nice view. Strangers and Stros. 79 and 72 against 89 and, I'm sorry, 89, I wish. 82 and 69. Definitely need the pitching to be there, Daryl. You're right. The Lion, welcome in. Good to see you. Go Stros. Angel says, actually, the next 6 games are all must win. Yeah, we really need them. But that's actually kind of what I was going to say about listening to the podcasts and some of the Rangers broadcaster videos yesterday. They were saying that there's no margin for error. They got to win basically everything. There's a lot more pressure on them. We don't have to win everything. We just have to win enough. But the Rangers, they're kind of in a pickle. They have to win almost everything, basically. So I think we're better off. We only have to worry about doing our thing. We win this series. We win the Mariners series. We're still in there. You know what I'm saying? And Shake, you're welcome. Shake says, Geaux Stros, thanks for doing what you do. You are very welcome. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting me. Like I said, I've said it many times, it's not just lip service. I'm being absolutely dead serious when I say that if not for my community here, I would not be able to do what I do. That is the absolute truth. It's the absolute truth. I mean, if I'm here doing these games and I only have a handful of people, I definitely wouldn't be able to do it. And that's the fact. So it's resonated with some of you, and you've come in and you've decided to be a part of the community and support the channel. And because of that, I'm able to keep going. Otherwise, there would be no Geaux Stros channel. So thank you for being here. Daryl, you're right. It would be nice if we could sweep Seattle, but what I really want, I want a sweep of the Rangers first, and then no less than 2 games. But 2 sweeps in a row. Can you imagine how awesome that would be for the Astros to sweep the Rangers and the Mariners back-to-back at home right here at the end of the season, our last 6 games of the year? How amazing would that be? We have to sweep the Rangers in order to win the season series. We have to. So we need to win today and tomorrow. We must. The Mariners series, we only need 2. We don't need to win all 3 to get the series against the Mariners. We just need to win 2. Less difficult than what we have to do against the Strangers. Yep. Jesse says the Astros will find a way to win and get back in first in the AL. Yep. We chipped away a little bit yesterday. The Mariners weren't playing. Astros gained half a game. That's good. Daryl says, the old saying goes, if you're a true Astros fan, you support the team, win or lose. Absolutely, that's right. And that's the thing. I mean, that's why I say that it is possible that a person it really is an Astros fan, but they're just really, really negative. They look at life, and everything in life is negative. And when the Astros lose, they basically say, I knew it. I knew it. Why do I even bother? And if the Astros give up a run in the first inning, they'll say, well, this game is over. Even if it's just 1 run. And if the Astros do something positive, that's the other thing. You can really tell a negative person by the way they respond to positive things. For example, let's say the Astros score 2 runs in the first inning. And they say, well, that's all our runs for the game. Now, I will admit that the Astros have had struggles scoring runs, period, in the first inning. It's just been a thing all year. And then scoring runs in the first inning, and after that, adding more. Yes, of course, it's been an issue. But then again, what hasn't been an issue for the Astros offense this year? It's been very inconsistent. The inconsistency has been the consistency for the Astros offense. I'm not going to deny that. That's just stating the fact. That's not being negative. But a person who says, oh, great, we only have 2 runs. We got 2 runs in the first, and we're not going to score any for the rest of the game. That's being ridiculous. They're different types of people, Different degrees of negativity. By and large, the world is too negative. Too many people are negative in their thinking. So, that's one of the things I hope to promote here. I strive to promote on this channel, and anything I do online is for everybody in the community to keep a different mindset. I'm not just saying, be positive, guys. Think positive. Say positive things. No, it's deeper than that. I want us to really believe into the end result, even if we can't see the evidence of that yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we haven't won many in a row. It's pretty amazing if you think about it. We haven't won a lot of games in a row, but we got to first place and we held it for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Midnight Sports says some people, they are probably negative because sports is all they have going for themselves. But, that's the thing. People who are negative, they don't even have sports going for them. Even if their teams are doing well and in first place, they're still going to be heavily critical because they're negative. And sports isn't going for them. Really, not really. Even if their team is doing well. Every area of their life will be affected. Brendan says Jordan might be back in postseason if we back out entire regular season. Okay, I guess what you're saying is that Jordan might be back in the postseason if we're able to make it through the regular season. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Jordan comes back at the same time Hader and Paredes do. Can you imagine how funny that would be? For all those guys to come back at the same time right as the postseason starts, and then we just go gangbusters. How awesome would that be? Definitely, Jesse. Stros need to score early. Who's pitching for the Strangers? That would be Mr. What's his name? Kelly. Merrill Kelly is pitching for the Strangers. Jesse? Angel says the only way to overcome the pitching, which is not really the issue, is the offense. If you have offense, you can overcome any pitching problems. Most of the time, that's true. And I think in the Astros case, it's 100% true. I think that the Astros problem is not really the pitching. Despite all of the struggles they've had on the mound and the injuries and the nonsense from Fromber, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, despite all of that, I agree with you 100% that the Astros' main issue is the consistency in the offense. If they can get guys on base and they can bring those guys home, you know, the Astros would win every single game if they would bring home 50% of all the guys they put on base. And that's not a joke. That's not a joke. Jesse says we don't have many losses in a row. Just kind of feels like, well, earlier this year, we had a few small runs, but we were never beaten for like an extended period of time. I mean, didn't the Dodgers go through like a really long loss spell? And that happened after the Astros destroyed them, I think. But the Astros never really suffered anything like that. We've had a spell where we just lost too many games. We lost too many series. That was the thing that the Astros were doing. Losing series and losing too many games overall after the All-Star break. We had a losing record. But we didn't have, like, many games in a row lost. Yeah, I got what you were saying, Brendan. That's what I assumed you were saying. If we make it to the postseason, then Jordan could be back. Blue Ball is on the mound. He almost looks like he does yoga and stuff while he's warming up. Josh Smith is at the plate for the Strangers. First pitch is on the way. 92, a little high and outside. Ball one. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. Welcome in. This game is underway, boys and girls. Here's the next toss. 93 miles an hour on the inside. Strike one. Good toss by Blue Ball. Number 69. 1 ball, 1 strike to Josh Smith. Here comes the toss. Nice. 94 in the bottom of the zone. Strike two. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We need some Holy Toledo Milo home run calls. How about some Harry Carey? Holy cow! Here's the 1-2. Nice! Swing and a miss on the outside. Blue Ball puts a 94 mile per hour strike. A fastball on the outside edge. Josh Smith goes after it. Can't touch it. 4-pitch strikeout. Perfectly placed pitch. You know, we call that a PPP. Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a trade-off there. Yeah, we haven't had a long winning streak, but we haven't had a long losing streak either, so kind of balances out. Swiffer, it's the first pitch to Wyatt Langford. I don't mean Holy Toledo, I mean Holy Cow. That's what Harry Carey used to say. He might have said Holy Toledo, but his famous thing was to say Holy Cow. That pitch is in there for strike one. The count's 1-1 against Langford. He takes a quick moment to adjust himself. You know, they were talking the other day about something interesting related to Colton Gordon. 94 fouled off. 1-2 is the strike. The strike is the count. They mentioned that, yeah, Colton Gordon came in, pitched 4 innings, and gave up 3 runs. But compare that to the start that Fromber had. Point taken. Here comes a 1-2. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yes, Mark, please. First things first, like the live stream. Build it up. Get some more people in here. Get some more Stros fans in Swing and a miss on the outside. Nice Swiffer. Another strikeout. Back to back. That's a 5-pitch strikeout. The Swiffer on that one. Josh Smith gets a fastball strikeout on the outside. Wyatt Langford gets a Swiffer strikeout on the outside. Cole, of course, in the game today. Altuve in the game. Here's the first pitch to Jake Berger. Swings and he misses it. That might have been a foul tip. High and outside. Strike one. He immediately calls a timeout. That's kind of funny. The first batter didn't call a timeout. He struck out. Second batter took a couple of pitches. Called a timeout. Berger calls a timeout after the very first pitch. I guess he's already winded. Or is he Wendy's? One of those. Here's the pitch. 95 above the count. Above the count. What in the world? When I'm listening to the broadcasters at the same time, I say a word that they're saying, and I mix it in with what I'm trying to say. It's kind of funny. 0-2 is the count. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. 82 Swiffer, low and away. A 3-pitch strikeout on Berger, who's still munching on a cheeseburger, looks like. Nice. Look at that. He strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3. Strikeout king in the first inning, Mr. AJ Blueball. How about that? We got a rookie on the mound striking out the strangers, and a rookie out in the field hitting homers, home runs, strikers, homers. What is this team? Got our veterans out there struggling to get on base, struggling to get hits, struggling to hit the ball, struggling to bring base runners home. Rookies come in, just start blasting home runs from the very first at bat, very first pitch. Rookies coming in, striking out guys from their very first, times on the mound. What in the world's going on with the Astros these days? I don't know this team. What is this team? Crazy. Ron says it's another beautiful day. I'm grateful for your hard work bringing the game to us. Good day, y'all, and Geaux Stros. Thank you, Ron. My pleasure. I truly am happy to be here, and I'm grateful and thankful to be here. There are several reasons why sometimes I don't know if I can be here. The two main ones, of course, are financially and health-wise. There have been days where I didn't know if I'd be able to be here for the games, or how long I'd be able to sustain myself. I mean, at one point I thought I'll be able to do the games up to a certain point until I'm hospitalized, and then it's over for me, But now I'm actually believing that I can beat this thing. Not every day is as good as the previous day, or at least it doesn't seem that way. But we can do this together. Pena comes to the plate in the very first pitch, he hits it out into center field. Nice. Four-seam fastball right down the middle, 92 miles an hour. The Flash gets himself on immediately. South Korea is up next. Here's the lineup for the Astros. Pena and then Correa, followed by Altuve. Altuve's at second base today, by the way. Walker will be batting cleanup, followed by Cole. Zach Cole in the 5th spot now. They moved him way up. He's in right field. Myers is in center field, batting 6th. Caratini's batting 7th, and he's catching today. Here is the pitch to Correa. Ooh, Correa goes after a nice slider right in the bottom of the zone, but misses it. Diaz is the DH. Yainer DH. Batting 8th. And Jesus Sanchez in left field batting 9th today. So Cole, Caratini, and Sanchez, our lefties in the lineup. Kind of surprised that they bunched them together like they did, but it's okay. That's grounded to the left side. It's going to be through. down the third base line. Pena is around. Is he going to be waved in? No, he's going to have to stop at third. But Correa is in there with a double right down the third base line, and he says, keep it going. Let's keep it going. Back-to-back hits. 92 sinker on the inside, right off the fists. Look at that. Just barely got it under the glove, the third baseman there. Moves Pena over to third. He says, let's keep it going, baby. Keep it going. Yeah, Angel, you're right. I didn't have any major complaints with the umpire yesterday. I mean, he had a few that could have gone one way or another, but I didn't have any major complaints. 92 just a little outside on that outside edge. Ball one. Good take by Altuve. Let's see that swing there where Correa brought his hands in to get that hit. Throw him a nothing burger. That's funny. Here comes the next pitch to Altuve, the 1-0. Altuve hits it hard to left field. It's really deep. It's out to the wall. That's going to easily get Pena in. Here comes the tag. Correa fakes a run to third, is not able to go, but an RBI for Altuve gets his job done with a hit all the way out to the scoreboard, to the track. 1-0 Astros. That'll do, Pig. That'll do. Altuve doesn't put it in the Crawford boxes, but he puts it far enough to grab himself a ribby. Two hits for the Astros so far and a sacrifice fly. One out, runner on second, and Christian Walker is at the plate. Ooh, we almost hit him right there on the arm. Walker did a good job of kind of turning and trying to get hit. Didn't look like he deliberately tried to get hit, but it looked like he wasn't trying to really get out of the way. He was just kind of turning his body, but it's 1-0. Here comes the toss. Outside, fouled off. 92-mile-per-hour cutter. 1-1. Kelly has only thrown 7 pitches, and he's already given up 2 hits and a deep drive to left field right in front of the scoreboard. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Walker. Low and outside. Two balls and one strike to Skywalker. Yeah, that's a big Swiffer he's got, J. Paul. You're right. The Blue Ball Swiffer. The Blue Ball Special. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Ooh, why did you swing at that one? Change up. Low and inside. Swing and a miss. The count is even, 2-2. Come on, Walker. If Altuve can hit it like that to the track, then I know you can put it on the railroad tracks. Nice solid strike right on the fat part of the bat. Right on the beefy part of the bat. You know, the beefy part of the bat. Here comes the 2-2. Grounded foul down the third base side. Let's put Merrill in peril, Prodigy says. That's right. Merrill's in peril. Yes, it was a productive out. You know, and that does not count as a lost lobster. That is a lobster brought home. It's like sacrificing yourself to the sea in order to provide the villagers with an extra meal, you know. 88 miles an hour on the outside edge. Walker swings and misses, can't get it. Walker was swinging like that ball was going to be in the zone, and that ball went out of the zone. He wasn't able to get the bat on it. He completely misread it. And that's out number 2. South Korea is on second base, just waiting for somebody to bring him home. Here's a toss to the next batter. That will be Zach King Cole. I swear to God, guys, I think that all of the other Astros podcasters now are copying me. I remember during that first game with Zach, I labeled him with the King Cole reference. He grounds it to second. He fires it over to first, and that's going to be it for the Astros in the inning. But 2 hits and a sacrifice fly. The Astros are up 1-0. We go into the top of the second. AJ Blueball will be back up on the mound in just a moment. But now I'm starting to see these Astros channels using the King Cole reference everywhere. Even on their thumbnails. It's like, hey, man, they're stealing my moniker. The cool thing is I have proof of that because I used it right after his first home run. If you go back and watch the video the live stream that I did, I used it right after his first home run. So I'm going to take credit for it just because, why not? Yeah, it looked like he did try to take one for the team there, Prodigy. It looked like he tried. He did his best without making it look obvious. Brendan wants to know if AJ is our best rookie pitcher. I think it's by far and away AJ. Right now it is, definitely. Oh, Milo Hamilton. Yeah, Milo Hamilton. Yeah, but whenever you mentioned him, let's see. Let me go back up. Yeah, I was referring to Jesse's comment because you mentioned we need some Holy Toledo Milo, and then Jesse said, you mean Holy Toledo. I think he was responding to me saying holy cow because I mentioned Harry Carey, because I used to make fun of Harry Carey. Back in the day when I was a kid, my sister liked the Cubs, and of course, on cable, one of the channels that we had was WGN, and they aired all of the Cubs games. And even though I didn't like the Cubs, I heard a lot of their games because they would be playing in the house all the time. Jock Peterson at the plate takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. And Harry Carey had a very special way of talking. Very easy to, I guess, impersonate or make fun of. And so when I was a kid, I was always making fun of Harry Carey because of my sister. Stop making fun of him. And I would say, I can't stop making fun of him. Holy cow. So I was just making a reference to Harry Carey, not Milo Hamilton, just to be clear. Because Jesse mentioned, you mean Holy Toledo, but that's not what I meant. What I meant was holy cow, because I was talking about Harry Carey. But yeah, I get what you're saying. 96 outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Jock Peterson. I got behind in the count myself, making fun of Harry Carey. But yeah, I remember Milo Hamilton. That's crushed to right field and foul. Holy cow. Speaking of Holy Toledo, that was almost gone. It was in the upper deck of right field. That was gone. Look at that. Upper deck. Foul by about 15 or 18 feet. Another 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Nice changeup. Low and outside. Good choice. 4 straight strikeouts for Blue Ball. Keep that up, bro. Keep that up. Almost gave up a home run. Comes back with the changeup, and he didn't get anywhere near that ball. He missed that by like 6 inches. Holy cow. Holy Toledo. Here's the toss. 94 miles an hour on the outside. The Lion says a random MLB page posted during his first game posted Bat King Cole, and Zach King Cole has been catching on. Yeah, I feel like I should get some credit for that. This is hit into left field, and that's going to be down for a base hit. There's their first single. First base runner. First guy to not strike out. Kyle Higashioka gets the hit off of Blue Ball on the first pitch. 1 out base runner here in the top of the second. Yeah, Mark, you're right. It's sad because I actually have a lot more experience listening to Harry Carey because of my sister. I didn't get to see many Astros games because when I was like 8 years old and up, we were living in Louisiana. Before that, I was in Houston, right? But from 8 years old and up, I was in Louisiana. And whenever we did have cable, we most of the time did not have cable. But my brother started working for the cable company later on. But anyway, at that time we got free cable. But before that, having cable for us was just like a luxury. Every once in a while we would have it for a little while and then it would get cut off or something. And while it was on, just nonstop, almost every day, it was Harry Carey on the TV. 94 up and in. Wow. Caratini almost hurt himself getting that one. He seems to be all right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Josh Young at the plate with a 1-2 count. Runner on first base, 1 out. Yeah, we definitely can't let him off the ropes, Prodigy. You're right. Take that knockout shot while you have the opportunity. Merrill Kelly was in a pickle, even though he didn't have many pitches in the first. Astros could have piled on right there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Is AJ's secret pitch the blue ball? Here comes the 2-2 to Young. Ooh, wow, look at that. That was an awful pitch to be swinging at. That Swiffer must be moving like 5 feet or something from right to left. Look at this. Look at that. Wow, nowhere near that ball. Starts off inside and then goes outside and in the dirt. That is... You did him dirty, but that's another strikeout. 5 strikeouts for blue ball today. High and outside. All of his outs so far have come via strikeout. 1-0 is the count to Alejandro Osuna. Runner on first base, 2 away. 1-0 pitch. On the way. Line drive left field. Oh, that's going to be down. Probably going to score a run. They're going to wave him in probably. Sanchez brings it in. Nope, they're not going to wave him in. Higashioka's not fast enough. That's lucky. Thankfully, Sanchez is able to get to it pretty quickly, but now we have runners on second and third with 2 outs. Opposite field hit. Yeah, he just put that four-seam fastball too far in on that outside corner, and he was able to shoot it in the corner. That brings up Michael Hellman, the 8th batter in the lineup. Michael wants to know if anyone remembers the original voice of the Astros. Very first pitch to Hellman is popped up on the infield, and Walker puts it away for out number 3. No harm, no foul. So Blue Ball gives up a couple of hits of his own this inning, but he picks up 2 more strikeouts. 5 Ks in 2 innings. 2 hits, no runs, no walks. Astros are up 1-0 going into the bottom of the second. Jake the Rake will be at the plate, followed by the Batman Victor Caratini. In Yiner, give him a shiner, Diaz. Mark says one of my favorites was Ken Harrelson from the White Sox. You can put it on the board. Yeah, that's right, Michael. That's probably one of the reasons why I also started liking the Braves. I mean, they also had a wonderful team, right? They had some really amazing players back in the day. And whenever they were making their run to the World Series, I really watched a lot of their games. I really liked them. I really did. David Justice was my favorite player. That they were always on cable, the Cubs and the Braves. Very easy. If you had basic cable, those are basically the only teams you could watch all the time. Charles says King Tuck, King Cole, both lefties. Yeah, but you know what? We've got so much upside. We've got so much upside with Cole. The Astros could actually sign him at a big discount very early. If he keeps performing like this through the rest of the year, I know they're talking about signing Cam Smith. And I'm not necessarily opposed to that if we can get a good deal. But the way Cole is performing right now, it's kind of like, how soon can we sign him just to get him at a massive discount and keep him for like 15 years? Well, maybe 10 years. 10 years. The Lion says, someone pointed out Cole has Tucker's neck and I can't unsee it. I never paid any attention to that, but maybe I will take a look next time he comes up on the screen. Jake the Rake is on the take. Merrill Kelly back on the mound with 13 pitches, 10 of those in the zone. Astros have been putting the bat on the ball. Let's see if they can continue that trend right here and drive in some more runs and build on that 1-0 lead. First pitch is hit high and foul, 90 miles an hour outside on that cutter. Let's see here. JT texts Pat that got by the infield on a bad hop. Speaking of hops, time to crack open an ice-cold Budweiser. 82 miles an hour, right in there, 0-2 on Jake Myers. Text Pat says, if the moon were made of barbecue ribs, would you eat it? I know I would. Well, everybody knows it's made of cheese. What kind of cheese, though? That's the question. Swiss cheese? Here's a pitch. That one's chopped to the third base side. Might be a little difficult. Oh, he barely beats him out with that throw. Myers came down a little awkwardly on first base, but he appears to be okay. He also seems to have run into quadruple cheeseburger at first base. Got his foot a little bit, maybe. Yeah, he hit Burger with his knee when he came across the bag. Interference! Caratini's at the plate. The Batman takes the first pitch outside and low. One down. One down for the Stros. Let's see what you can do, Caratini. Low. 2-0. Good take. Mark says the original voice of the Stros was Gene Elston from 62 to 86. He says he was quite good. I never listened during that time because I was always watching TV. I watched the Astros in the Astrodome a few times when I was young, and after that it was always on TV until I got to be an adult. Then I started listening to Milo Hamilton sometimes. That next pitch is a strike, but 3 straight balls and then a strike to Caratini. Here comes the next pitch. It's a 3-1 count. Outside. Oh, Caratini started to head to first base. That was a ball outside. But the umpire said, looks sexy to me. And he flirts with it. That's strike 2. We have a full count, which should have been a walk. Here comes the toss. That's way outside. There's a no-doubter on that one. So Caratini luckily gets the walk that he should have had already. That pitch was about 1.5 feet out of the zone. Hispanic Heritage Weekend at Daikin Park. Yiner, give him a shiner. We got a guy on base with 1 out. Low and outside, ball 1. Make him work. We need to drive that count up. Keep getting hits, drive that count up. Merrill Kelly now 23 pitches. 15 in the zone. He's losing a little bit of control here. He's lost just a little compared to the inning before. Outside, another ball, 2-0. Good take, Yiner. Good job, baby. Mariners 7-0, bottom of the third. Man, why are they getting such easy games? That's not fair. Here's a toss. Way outside again. 3 pitches outside. Yiner, 3-0. He was 3-0. On Caratini. Now he's 3-0 on Yiner. Back-to-back difficult counts for Merrill Lynch. Woo! That's funny. Look at this. This ball was right inside there. Right on the inside, called a strike, and almost in the exact same spot of Caratini's strike on the 3-0 pitch. 3-1 is the count. Here comes the toss. 92 right in there, but he fouls it off. Now it's full. Yeah, that's right, Mark. Cole's starting off pretty hot like Cam. Even a hotter start, actually, than Cam. But Cam did play college ball last year. Yiner skies that one out to left center field, and that's going to be playable. The center fielder and the left fielder almost run into each other as they're both calling it. Neither one of them backed off. Look at this. The veteran steps in front of the rookie. That's funny because the rookie's in center field, but the left fielder cuts in front of him and takes it. It's disappointing whenever I see the opponent not make a big mistake there. You know, I want to see those guys bump into each other and miss the ball. That's what I wanted to see. Why can't I have every single thing that I want? It sounds like those crazy leftists. That's what they're really saying when they whine about things, but that's not. They don't say it openly, but that's what they're basically saying, right? Swing and a miss. Sanchez is at the plates. We still got a guy on first base trying to move him around, bring that lobster home. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He grounds that one to the first baseman, who snatches it up and steps on the bag, and that's going to be it. So the Astros pick up a few lobsters. That's going to be it here in the bottom of the second. So we are finished with 2 innings of baseball. 2 hits for the Stros, 2 hits for the Strangers. 1 run on the board for the Astros, and a big old goose egg for the Arlington Strangers. No errors. We go to the top of the third. A.J. Blueball on the mound with 28 pitches. 20 of those in the zone. Not the auto zone. Throw in the zone. Auto zone. He has been kind of a strikeout machine so far. 5 of his 6 outs have been strikeouts. Pretty nifty. I do hope that he can continue on and get through no less than 6 innings. I'd love to see him get more ground outs just so he can keep his pitch count down and go through 7 innings. That's what I'd like to see. Blue ball, 7 innings at least with no runs on the board. However he gets there is fine. As long as he's healthy, his arm's feeling good, any way is okay. Yeah, the umps have been slightly disappointing today. As long as they go both ways, then I won't complain. But, you know, they can't be calling a strike on a 3-0 count or a 3-1 count in important situations. So when they do that early in the game, it makes me wonder, are they going to do that later in the game when it seems to matter even more? And I'm not saying it doesn't matter right now. When you've got bases empty in the second inning and they call a strike on something that's clearly a ball, it doesn't seem to matter as much, but it does. Because what if the batter gets out and then the next batter hits a home run? Well, you just lost an extra run because of that umpire. So it matters just as much to me now as it does later. It's just that later on when it happens, it becomes so much more obvious and egregious. So if they do it now, it means they can do it later. But if they're able to balance it out and do it to the Strangers as well as the Astros, then fine. I'm not going to complain as long as it's going both ways. Cody Freeman is at the plate, the 9th batter in the lineup. Here's the first toss. 92, just above the zone, ball 1. Mark says, I say sign them both. Cam Smith and Zach Cole to long-term deals at a discount, and you'll have your 2 corner outfielders locked up. Here's the next pitch. 80 miles an hour, fouled away. Well, with the way Cam Smith is performing right now, you could definitely get him on a discount. If you could get Cole to agree to a contract after the end of the year, then maybe you could get a really good deal on him for like 10 years. I mean, they could do that. They could. You never know. 1-1, here's the pitch. Just a little outside and high. 2-1 is the count to Freeman. Blue ball now at 31 pitches. Yep, Michael, you're right. The center fielder is supposed to get priority, but when he's the rookie, then not necessarily. Veteran status versus rookie status, that trumps center field status. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 3-1. Nice. 93 right in the upper outer corner. Freeman tried to go to first base, and the umpire said, nope, that's a strike, son. And that was a strike. That was not an outside questionable call. That was a perfectly placed pitch to full count. Strikeout number 5, 6. Whoa, that was a strike in the zone and a check swing. It was in the zone, lower inside corner. 100% in the zone. Look at this. Right across the knees. Freeman buckled down and he even went, woo. Freeman knew that was a strike, but the umpire gave it to him. This is what I'm talking about. That was a strike 3 right there. Turns into a walk. High and outside, ball 1 to Josh Smith. Look how perfect that was, the Swiffer. Man, Blue Ball was very upset that he didn't get the call there. Beautiful pitch. Runner on first base with no outs. 1 ball, no strikes to Josh Smith. Low and outside, 2-0. Don't let that shake you up, Blue Ball. No big deal. It was a good pitch. Yeah, Prodigy, they are. They need to hit the ball a little better. Low and inside, 3-0. Yeah, Mark is right. If you have not liked the live stream, please do so. It needs to be at least 75% on the like to viewer ratio. Right now we have almost 120 people following along, watching or listening, and only 50 likes. That's terrible. Let's jack that up, shall we? 93 at the top of the zone. Strike 1. 3-1. Smith in auto take mode on that pitch. Also, if you're an Astros fan, take the time to subscribe to the channel. Most of you are not subscribed. Fouls it off. Full count. Fastball. Up and out of the zone. Sails off into the crowd. I looked at my statistics the other day, and I'm getting thousands upon thousands upon thousands of viewers and listeners every week. But the vast majority are not subscribed. Most people are casually listening, but they're not subscribing. But if you're an Astros fan, you're really missing out. You'll get all of the notifications for every game. If you subscribe, he fouls that one off. The count is full again. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get spammed with a bunch of junk from my channel if you subscribe. 98% of what I do is live play-by-play. So if you care about the Astros games, then go ahead and click that subscribe and then click that thumbs up while you're at it. Don't be lazy. Some people tell me, well, you know, I'm watching on my TV, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. Come on. Those are not reasons. Those are just excuses. If you appreciate what I'm doing, then I think the absolute minimal that I can expect from you is to like the live stream. That's not too much to ask. Here's the pitch. Here's a pitch. That's a strike. And a steal attempt. He gets in there. That was close. But Freeman, are you kidding me? That's his first steal. His first steal in the major leagues. Of course, it would come against the Astros. 86 mph up and out. Gets the strike. And it was almost a strike him out, throw him out. But the throw is just a little off. And he was able to sneak in there. So we have a runner on second base with one away. Wyatt Langford comes to the plate. This ump needs to be fired, Brendan says. I would say this ump needs to be reprimanded. I wouldn't fire him over what he's done so far in this game, but I would definitely reprimand him. Tell him to get back in line. 1 ball, no strikes to Langford with that outside pitch. Here's the toss. 94. Oh, at the top of the zone. This one could have been called a strike. Let's call a ball. 2-0. Yeah, I agree. Here's the pitch. Oh my gosh. That pitch was high, okay? It was high. Higher than the last pitch, and it was called a strike. Now, that's ridiculous. 2 balls and 1 strike. So the umpire takes one away, and he gives it right back. That's hilarious. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the toss. On the outside edge, 95. Perfect. Perfect. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, runner on second. Wyatt takes a timeout. Wyatt becomes quiet and steps out of the box. The 2-2 pitch to Langford. On the way. Hit high into right field. Cole is underneath it, puts it away. Freeman tags and gets to third, no problem. But that's out number 2. Jake Burger Time comes to the plate. He struck out his last at bat. Blue ball already up to 46 pitches. I think at this pitching rate, this rate of pitches, blue ball would not go past 6 innings. He's going to have to lower that a lot in order to get through 7. Caratini's going to go out there and give him a break, have a little chat with him. A nice slow walk out to the mound. Listen to me, I'm the Batman. I'm going to tell you what to do, okay? Batman and Robin on the mound. Yeah, shrewdly, there have been some misses. Diaz gets robbed of a base. Rangers get a freebie and an elevated pitch count. Yep, those things add up later on. They're very subtle, right? They're very subtle. But that's one of the reasons why I stopped watching some of the other sports, like NFL. NFL is highly controlled. The narrative and everything is highly controlled in NFL. But if you think that's bad, NBA is even worse. Everybody who touches the ball travels or walks or carries the ball, but it's only arbitrarily called. Swing and a miss, 95, up and out. The Swiffer gets Burger Time going, and he calls timeout immediately. That's what he did last time. He got a strike, then immediately called timeout. He's definitely had too many Twinkies. as dessert after the quadruple cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers being plural. Yeah, what is the ump smoking? That's a good question. 96 on the fastball, up and out, fouls it off. 0-2 with 2 outs. Yeah, you're right, Prodigy. You're talking about that fastball. That umpire is a little hit and miss sometimes. Here comes the 0-2. 97, way above the zone, and he fouls it off. Berger's trying to get that fastball. I think all he has to do is throw a really nice Swiffer to strike him out because he's going after that fastball like crazy. Look how high that was. Way up there. He had to stretch to get that one. Here comes the 0-2. There it is. He threw the Swiffer. I told you. Just throw the Swiffer and he's going to go after it. He's camping on that fastball for some crazy reason. Another strikeout. That's 6. 6 Ks for blue ball. He gets out of the inning without giving up any runs. Runner gets stranded on third base after a walk given by the umpire. Should have been a strikeout. But he's able to get out of it, thank goodness. Merrill Kelly will be back up on the mound. He's at 30 pitches. Facing Jeremy Pena, Carlos Correa, and Jose Altuve. The top of the lineup for the Astros is due up. So, blue ball has to work through it. Picks up a lot of extra pitches thanks to the umpire, but he's able to get it. You know, that's the thing. That's what, they say. A good coach always tells his team, listen, you can't blame the refs or the umpires, right? My opinion is, if I'm coaching a team, and I've actually done a little bit of assistant coaching for some kids when I was still playing. I was kind of like the guy they looked up to. Whenever you're playing in high school and stuff, they're local professional players, right? You're the local guys they look up to. And I've helped out a little bit before. And one of the things that I would tell them is, whenever you go out, you have to just assume. You have to assume that the referees and the umpires are not going to be on your side. You have to play the game as if you're going to have to make up for the umpires or the referees' mistakes. I think that's the best mindset to have because, yes, when you start the game, it's 0-0. That's true. But it might not really be 0-0. You know what I'm saying? Because of the umpires, it's like the other team gets a handicap. And then you have to overcome that. It's like getting a handicap when you don't deserve a handicap. 89, right in there is the first pitch to Pena, strike 1. Here's the next toss. Ground ball to the left side, off the glove of the third baseman. Pena is on first base 2 times in a row. Good job, Young. He tried. I was about to pour some more coffee, but I realized that my water is not hot. It's just warm. I'll heat it up later. I'll get it at the end of the inning. Correa at the plate with a runner on first. 87, low and outside. Swing and a miss. Gets him on the changeup. Come on, Correa. Mark says you'll get to see interesting videos from Japan every once in a while. I hear there's an interesting one in the works from Cafe Gusto where Brennan tries 3 hot dogs. And 3? No way. I won't even try one unless somebody specifically donates for it. That's in there for strike 2. 0-2 to Correa. Mark, you're very gung-ho. Here's the 0-2 pitch. 92 in there, fouled off. Count remains 0-2. Hey, Kansas City put a run on the board. Yay. They're only down by 8 against the Submariners. Jenny Craig for Jake Berger. Maybe also Rowdy Tellez and that other guy, whatever that other guy is, who's even bigger. Rangers have some beefy guys. Throw over to first base. Pena's back. Crowd boos a little bit. Angel says the umpire's smoking the devil's lettuce. Have you been into the devil's garden, boy? You digging up the devil's lettuce out there in the middle of the night? That's up the middle. Is it going to be down? Yes, it is. Correa with a center right up the middle. Beautiful hit. Was that a curveball? Nice little breaking ball. Looked a little low. And he was able to get it. Yeah, it hung up there just enough in the bottom of the zone. And Correa was able to... Yeah, it came in right across the knees. Probably not where the pitcher really wanted to put it. But Correa punishes him right up the middle. Heck yes, we have 2 runners on with no outs. Jose Altuve comes to the plate. And they call timeout. Looks like the catcher might be... No, he doesn't go out to the mound. He just wanted to get some signal straight or something. Yeah, we've already got the updates about Jordan, but yeah. He's going to be out for a significant amount of time, but nobody really knows just how long. Here's the first pitch, Altuve. He bunts it down the third baseline. He moves the runners over. He makes the throw to first base. Young does. And he gets Altuve, but Altuve sacrifices again. So Altuve's last at bat, he got the RBI on the sacrifice fly to left field. And this one, he sacrifices on the very first pitch, puts the bunt down the third base side, moves the runners over. We got 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. Christian Walker at the plates. Altuve playing some true professional sacrifice ball so far today. That's how you do it right there. Don't play around. Just get the fundamentals. Say what you want about Altuve, but he knows every aspect of the game. On the inside, up and in, 81 mile per hour curveball, strike 1. Come on, Walker. Give us something beautiful. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 92 in the bottom of the zone. On the cutter, fouled away. 0-2 is the count. Well, hopefully you can make that $5. Mark. Pay for that breakfast. The line says beautiful. Yeah, on the bunt. That's right. High and outside. 1-2 to Walker. Correa on second base. Pena on third. Pena is a speedster. It would be super easy to score him. Wouldn't be too difficult to drive in Correa either. Come on, Walker. You can do it. Here's the toss. Low and outside. Good take. The count's even 2-2. Kelly is up to 42 pitches? No, 41. The next one will be his 42nd. Yeah, you're right, Michael. And it doesn't matter if he's fallen off a little bit. That we're able to be so lucky as to watch him is great. All right. Walker rips it to the third base. There's no play at home. Pena is too fast. He scores. How about that? Walker with a sacrifice fielder's choice. Drives in the second run. The Astros are getting it done today with classic baseball. How about that? In the first inning, Altuve hits it deep to left field. Sacrifice fly scores the first run. Altuve bunts it to move the runners over. Walker hits it to third base. Pena was off and running on the pitch, basically. Sacrifice grounder, 2-0. Zach King-Cole at the plate. First pitch is high and outside. Correa on second base. We still have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Let's not leave him there. You can hit a homer. It's okay. I don't mind. I will allow it, sir. That's hit hard to right field, right center, and it's going to be called by the center fielder. Woo, what a rip. Not too far from getting in the gap. That would have scored Correa for sure, but had just too much left angle on it. He's still putting the bat on the ball, though. He's a scary batter. He's a scary man. He's a scary man. I'm going to go get my water heated up. I'll be right back, everybody. 2-0 Stros at the end of 3. 4 hits for the Stros, 2 for the Strangers. Astros are up. I'll be right back. Go Stros. Well, that's going to be it for AJ Blueball. He's out and Colton Gordon is in the game. First pitch is on the way. That's in there, 91 miles an hour, inside strike. Jock Peterson is at the plate. Next pitch is coming in there. Gordon delivering pretty quick right now. Below the zone on the Swiffer. 1-1 is the count. So blue ball isn't going to go past 3 innings, looks like. Kind of surprised on that. Kind of. There's a bunt to third, the base side. Gordon has no play at first base. I am trying to update the picture on the screen. Where is Colton Gordon's picture? There it is. Okay, now it's updated. Sorry about that. Jock Peterson bunts it down the third baseline, as you see right here. What in the world was Gordon doing there? He waited as if he thought somebody else would get it or if it would go foul or something, but it stayed fair. Now Peterson is on first base with no outs. 81 miles an hour on the changeup in the top of the zone, strike 1. Kyle Higashioka has a single today. He's at the plate for the Strangers. Here comes the next pitch. 90 on the inside. He fouls it up. Is it going to be playable? No. Walker can't get to it. It's into the net. 0-2 is the count. Gordon might pick himself up a K right here. Gordon fish sticks. As long as we don't have another one of those old-timey jams, it's all good. How about a double play there, Mr. Gordon? Here comes the 0-2 pitch. 90 mile per hour fastball, fouled away. Mark wants to know if he's correct in saying that neither Altuve nor Walker are credited with lobsters in the past inning. That's correct, sir. If you sacrifice and move guys over, then you do not get a lobster. Basically, in order to avoid losing a lobster, you have to do something constructive with your at-bats. And it could be almost anything. It can be you get hit by a pitch. That counts too. Because you get on base and possibly even move people over. So that's a positive at bat. That's fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Higashioka. So if you get a walk, if you get a sacrifice fly, sacrifice grounder, a fielder's choice, but you move the guys around or you score a runner, all of these are okay. The point of avoiding losing a lobster, it means that you do something to advance the runners in some way. That's hit up way up in the air, but Altuve's underneath it. Puts it away no problem for out number 1. Good job, Jose. 1 down. Josh Young comes to the plate with a runner on first, and Colton Gordon up to 9 pitches, 7 of those in the zone. No, the Astros actually have 6 lobsters right now, total. In that inning, if you're talking about, I think so. That's way outside for ball 1. Josh Young at the plate, 0 for 1 today. Once again, I will remind you to like the live stream if you've not done so. If you have not subscribed, also take the time to do that. Here's the toss. That's fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike to Young. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is Young. I got it right. Why am I second doubting myself? 76 likes right now and 137 people following along. We need those likes to be over 100, guys and gals. Onegaishimasu. That means please. 90 miles an hour up and in, ball 2. 2-1 is the count. I think I missed some comments in the live chat while I was heating up my water. Michael says, Devils, lettuce my butt. That ump is smoking crack, Jack. That's hit out to center field. Myers is back. It looks like he's got it lined up. He does. Peterson is tagging. He was thinking about tagging to go to second, but he goes back. Being a little saucy there on Jake Myers. Myers isn't having it. He says, no nonsense today. No second for you. No tag for you. 2 down. Alejandro Osuna at the plate. Had himself a double last at bat against Blue Ball. That's in there. 92 miles an hour, strike 1. Good toss. But I wanted to go back to what Michael said earlier. He said, really think about how lucky we Astros fans have been to get to watch such a player as Altuve play his career here. 100%, I agree. I wanted to make sure that I got back to that. Osuna grounded up the middle. Pena's able to grab it and step on the bag, and that's it. Nice inning for Colton Gordon. 4 up and 3 down. 4 hits for the Astros. 3 hits, actually, for the Strangers. But the Astros lead 2-0. Astros are winning the lobster war right now. Let's do the lobster count. Lobster update. News updates. Lobster count. There we go. News update for all of you. The lobster count is Strangers 9, Astros 6. Astros lobster count right now is what I consider to be so-so. If they had 3 runs, it would be good. With 6 lobsters and 3 runs, so basically half of your lobsters you've got runs, that's good. If you want to be great, then your lobsters and your runs are basically equal. If it's slightly below half, it's not bad. But the Strangers are struggling right now. They've been able to get guys on base, get the lobsters in the traps and into the boats, so to speak, but they've lost them on the way back to shore. Jake Myers is leading it off for the Stros here in the bottom of the fourth, followed by the Batman Victor Caratini. Then Yiner give him a shiner. Here's the pitch. Hey, look at that. That's ripped out into left field, and it's going to be down. Very first pitch is a stroke by Mr. Baseball. Myers is on. Leadoff runner. Fuzzy Batman. And I'm going to call it right now. Caratini just hasn't had one in a while, but he's got the stroke. And I feel like he's been able to work the rust off. They've been mixing him back into the games more consistently recently, and I think that that helps him to get hot again. I'm calling a homer. He's going to take Merrill Kelly deep, and that's going to spell the beginning of the end for this pitcher. Here's the pitch. Inside, 86-mile-per-hour changeup, ball one. Low and inside. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Kelly. Opposite field hit. It's not a homer, but I'll take it. Myers has to hold up at second base, but Caratini does come through with a hit, so I was half right. I'm going to claim 50% correct. Or maybe 25% correct. That's what I'll say. I'll say I was 25% correct, because a homer is all four bases, but a single is 25% of that. Young tried to get it, but he just missed it right under his glove. Back-to-back singles. 3 pitches in, and the Astros already have 2 guys on, first and second. So the lobster traps are really bustling right now. The Astros have got it going on. They found a hot spot, and they're dragging the lobsters into the boat right now. The next crew member on deck is Yiner Diaz. He's got a great opportunity right here. Are we going to see a Yiner shiner or what? The opposite field homer. He drove one really deep yesterday to center field, just shy of the wall, over 400 feet. 90 up, ball one. Darryl says, I'm not slacking today. I got my like in. Good, sir. Let that be a lesson to the rest of you. Don't slack. Like the live stream. Here's the toss. 91. Low and inside. Swing and a miss. Why are you swinging at that one, buddy? That's not your pitch. Wait for your pitch. Kelly is still pitching. Merrill Kelly is still on the mound. Yes, Mark. He only has 49 pitches, so here's the toss. Yiner hits it hard to left field, all the way out to the wall, in the corner, off the wall, off the scoreboard. That's going to easily score Myers. Caratini's not fast enough to get in, but he's over to third base, and Yiner is to second. How about that? Yiner says, I'm not losing these lobsters. He brings one closer to the shoreline, and he brings one all the way back home. It's 3-0 Astros. Nice. He got around on that early and ripped it down the line. Look at that, right in the corner. Just a couple of feet. Fair. And he says, my eye, you see that? I gave you a shiner. Yep. Maddox comes out to have a little chit-chat. You know, this is kind of the beginning of the end for you. You know, you can't give up hits like that. You give up one more, and you're done. You're done. Jesus Sanchez at the plate. Sanchez at the plate. Pena on deck. Runners on second and third. Not a single out to be had. Oh, look. Are they going to bring in a pinch hitter? Oh, no. Okay. I thought I heard something wrong there. I was like, what are they doing? But no, Sanchez is at the plate. 92 in the top of the zone. He fouls it off. According to the commentators, Sanchez has had some pretty good luck against this pitcher, against Kelly. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ooh, just a little high. Good take, good call by the ump. 1 ball, 1 strike. No, you don't have your left-hander bunt against Kelly, especially a guy who's able to hit him. You let him swing. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low and inside, right in the corner. Tough pitch to hit, but it was in the zone. 1-2 is the count. Pop, and we don't stop, and that's right. Yep, we got to sweep this series, though. Line drive up the middle, he does it. That's right. That's why you let Sanchez bat against this pitcher. Diaz is waved home also. Here's the throw. It's not going to get there. The Astros score 2 more runs. It is 5-0. That's right. Friendship, baby. The power of friendship. The Justice League continues their assault on the villains. Look at that. Change up, low and away, and he just puts it right through the middle. Good job, Mr. Sanchez. We have a runner on first with no outs. Every single lobster that has been caught so far has been brought home. Astros are raking. Pena at the plate. Timeout called. Heck yes. Man, I am going to really, really enjoy my next cup of coffee. I'll tell you what. Here's the pitch. Ripped down the third base line. Almost fair. Pena almost with a double. How about this? This is hilarious. They said it's not too often that catchers bat back to back. But that's pretty cool. Yanner with looking at the camera like, that's right. That's right. The 0-1 pitch to the Flash is on the way. Sanchez is stealing. Pena bounces it up the middle. Sanchez is going to go to third. How about that? Sanchez was stealing, and it was a hit and run. Pena goes right up the middle. Sanchez strolls to third. Runners on the corners. Nary an out. Still no outs. Kelly is in a pickle right now. Talk about an old-timey jam. Look at that. Yeah, Sanchez had to avoid the ball, but then he's able to get over to third, no problem, standing up. Sarcastic Prodigy comes in with the really awesome, the 4th inning rally super chat. 4th inning rally super chat. Merrill Kelly's done. Guess what? Merrill Kelly, his career with the Diamondbacks and with the Rangers, this is his shortest outing ever. The Astros served it up just for him. How about that? That'll do, pig. That'll do. The Houston Astros have knocked Merrill Kelly out of this game, and he didn't even get 1 out in the 4th inning. Merrill Kelly, after 3 innings pitched, knocked out of the game. How about that? I'm so happy, so excited about that, but you know what? That means that I need to go in here, get my hot water, and pour myself a 2nd cup of hot, fresh coffee. How about you? If you don't have something, then get yourself something. Go get something to treat yourself from the fridge, or go get yourself a nice drink. You deserve it right now. Geaux Stros. I'll be right back. Oops. Short little break while the strangers change pitchers. It looks like Cole Winn will be in. Kind of an ironic name, considering how the Astros are turning the Rangers into Cole Lose. So Win with two N's. Maybe it's Lose with two S's. Two E's. Two O's. I don't know. Cole Loose. Cole is getting loose right now. You can bet that the strangers didn't expect that, right? For Merrill to go out after just 3 innings. Man, the Astros have been all over him. Correa is now at the plate with runners on the corners. 91 in the inside, fouls it off. Cole Winn, ERA of 1.53, but how many innings pitched? I didn't get to see all of his stats. Correa fouls that one off the plate. 0-2 is the count. Let me get his name changed on the screen there. Correa takes a little time out, steps out of the box. That's true, Gregory, but who are they playing? It's definitely not a division rival, that's for sure. Here's a 0-2. 97 inside, fouled off again. Come on, Correa, let's keep the train going. Who said that earlier? Somebody said keep the train going? When it rains, it pours. That's right, Shake. One of you guys said that. Keep the train going. Yeah, Sanchez did him dirty. Dirty Sanchez. That's right. That's absolutely right. Here's a toss. 96 in the bottom of the zone. Correa takes it for strike 3, and that's the first out of the inning. First out of the inning. That brings up my hero, Jose Altuve. Altuve with 2 sacrifices today. A deep shot to left field and a bunt. What is he going to do this time? All right, Altuve. Let's see that tongue. Here's the toss. Outside, ball 1. Yeah, shrewdly, I agree. I think Correa does take too many third strikes. They're not always on him, but if it's close, you got to swing. That's high, 2-0. Good take by Altuve. So far, it's a 3-run job. But the Astros like that Louisiana mentality, the old school Louisiana mentality. Lanyap, it means a little something extra. Ooh, 84 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Foul tip into the glove of the catcher. 2-1 is the count. Field the bases is fine, but home run is preferable, or base hit. Anything will score a run right now. We have runners on the corners with 1 out. Altuve can do it. He can figure out something. He's been doing it so far. Here comes the pitch. Hey, another base hit. Altuve puts it into left field, and that will easily score Sanchez. Sanchez strolls home. The Astros up 6-0. Jose Altuve coming through big time for the Astros today. He's doing everything. Sacrifice fly, bunting, RBI, single to left field, 90-mile-per-hour cutter above the zone. That was chest high. That's my man right there, baby. 10 hits now for the Astros, 6 runs on the board. That brings up Christian Walker. We still have 2 runners on, first and second, with 1 out. The train is still going, baby. The tram is making the rounds. He's not even in the game. Christian Walker has a strikeout and a ground out. Is it time for him to get a hit? We'll see. Low and outside, ball 1. Yes, even plane swings. Classic Jose. That's right. Low and outside, ball 2. Good take. When Altuve is able to level up that swing, even when it's chest high, he's able to make solid contact. I've seen him hit so many home runs like that, too. I mean, he just has the ability to do stuff, you know? It's not always pretty, but whenever it is, man, it's a thing of beauty. Here comes the 2-0. Inside, almost kind of got him on the belt. It's 3-0. Astros might have loaded bases with Zach Cole at the plate. How about that? You guys want to see a Zach King Cole grand slam? I know I do. Michael says, I go take a shower and they unload. Here's the pitch. That's in there. 91 miles an hour. He was taken all the way. 3-1. Keep it cranking, Jesse says. 100%. It is definitely a hitter's count. 3-1 right now. Cole just waiting for his opportunity on deck. Let's load him up. Give him a chance. Here's the toss. Nope. Line drive out. Walker line drives. Caught by the second baseman. Pena had already left the bag. Bad base running, and that's a double play. So Cole does not get an opportunity to even come to the plate. Thanks to Pena, who was off to the races on that hit, thinking it was going to sneak through, but it didn't. I'm not going to complain, even though I could. The Astros put up 4 and knock Merrill out. He didn't even get a single out against them. But they managed to get 4 runs, and now the Astros are up 6-0. 6-0 going into the top of the 5th. 10 hits for the Stros, 3 for the Strangers. The Astros now have 10 lobsters. But they have 6 runs. And that's very good. That's what I like to see. The Astros have brought home the majority of their catch. And that is more than acceptable. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. For those of you who are just casually listening in, if you're interested in the Astros games, do consider subscribing right now. Like I said earlier, last time I checked, more than 80% of everybody that's coming in and listening are not subscribed. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. At the very least, I think that if you want to hang around and listen to the game, even if you're a Rangers fan, give a little love on the live stream by liking it. That would be greatly appreciated. Speaking of that, I want to reload the screen right now. See what's going on. Colton Gordon is on the mound facing Michael Hellman. Here's the first pitch. I'm sorry, that's the second pitch. Apparently I missed the first one. Okay. My feed for some reason was not live. When I clicked the live button, it updated. The count is 1-1 to Michael Hellman. Hellman's mayonnaise at the plate. On that outside edge, nice curveball. Snuck it in the back door there. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hellman. We are in the top of the 5th. Almost halfway through this booger. Hot coffee on the way. Here comes a 1-2 on the way. Low and inside on that curveball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hellman. No outs, nobody on. Here's the toss. Swing and a miss on the outside. Gordon picks up a K. 1 down. Michael Hellman goes down. And Freeman comes to the plate. Cody Freeman, followed by Josh Smith, will be up in just a moment. We've got 87 likes. We need 13 more to get to 100, but we need about 120 to match the 150 who are following along right now. That'd be about a decent ratio. 75 on the inside. Nice curve again. Strike one. Holy cow, Steel Viper says, gotta catch them all with the lobsters. Super lobster Pokemon. Catch them all. Arigato. There we go. Thank you so much for that awesome super chat, Steel Viper. That's fouled off. Low and inside. Another curveball. 0-2 is the count. Steel Viper with a $20 super chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Catch them all. Bring them all home. Yep. Silver Boot Series. Astros take this game. We can win the Silver Boot tomorrow. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball was in the dirt. Here comes the next toss from Gordon. Freeman ready to take it. Outside on the Swiffer. The count's even 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. 90 miles an hour, fouled off into the crowd on the right side. 2-2, the count stays. Brendan says Michael should have stayed in the shower. Yeah, Altuve, when he's on, he can hit the ball anywhere. That's crushed to left field. That's going to be gone. Right into the Crawford boxes, an undoubted crushed ball off of Gordon. I was just about to say the exact same thing. Astros fan throws the ball back on the field. Nice. I mean, who's Cody Freeman? Who's that guy? Throw that ball back on the field. I would always turn that into a profit. I wouldn't want to keep that ball, but I'd have to turn it into a profit. I would just sell it online. First pitch is in there for strike one to Josh Smith. 1 out. No shutout for the Astros today, but they're up by 5, 6-1 with that solo home run given up by Gordon. But I was just about to say the same thing that the Astros commentators said. Colton Gordon giving up those homers like that has been an issue for him this year. Unfortunately. Here comes the next pitch, the 0-2. Fouled off on the left side. Sanchez is over there and can't quite get to it. It's into the crowd. Count remains 0-2. Yeah, surely you're right. Walker with a couple of unlucky outs. And he's definitely the guy that doesn't need those unlucky outs. He gets enough strikeouts as it is. Here comes the pitch, the 0-2, way outside and low on the Swiffer. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Josh Smith. 1 out, nobody on. Viper says, I do it for the community with the super chats. This is hit hard out to right field, but Cole is there to put it away. Almost to the warning track. Smith flies out. 2 down. Wyatt Langford comes to the plate. They're showing the results of the Lone Star series against the Rangers. First pitch to Langford is a swing and a miss on the outside. A nice changeup. 0-1. Here comes the next pitch. Just below the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Langford 0 for 2 today with a flyout and a strikeout. Let's make it 0 for 3. Here's the toss. A little above the zone. 2-1 is the count. Yeah, guys, whenever you support the channel, you're not just supporting me, you're supporting the entire community here. If you want to keep it going, do consider supporting if you can. And that comes in a variety of ways. Obviously, the financial help is the biggest way you can help. But the cool thing is that just by subscribing, liking, commenting, and watching, even if you can't watch or listen in, that's a walk. 3-1 pitch in the bottom of the zone looked like a strike. Umpire lays off. Let's take another look at that. Yeah, that should have been a strike four. Strike 3. Right in the bottom of the zone, but the umpire laid off. That's another fail. And I have overpoured my coffee. Didn't mean to do that. Ooh. Over. They're having a meeting on the mound right now. Miller came out to have a little chit-chat with Colton Gordon. We've got a runner on first base with 2 outs. Jake Berger coming to the plate in just a moment. Meeting on the mound is adjourned just now. Ooh, that's hot. Very careful. Very carefully. I picked up my coffee and sipped it down. It was full. It was spilling over. Getting everywhere. Here's a... Nope. And he goes over to first base on the very first time back on the mound, back on the rubber. After the meeting, he goes to first base. Runner on first with 2 outs. Quadruple cheeseburger at the plate, or is it Whopper Jr.? He goes to first place again. First place. Can't even speak right now. I'm going to give up. I give up. Jaden Murray is warming up in the bullpen for the Stros right now, a righty. Our lefty, Colton Gordon, is on the mound. Here's the pitch to Berger. High and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. To mini bacon cheeseburger. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Fouls it back. 90-mile-per-hour fastball just above the zone. Good pitch. 1-1. Yep. Angel says the Mariners are up 10-1 in the bottom of the 6th. They're having kind of a cakewalk right now, right? If we take a look at the scoreboard there, the Tigers are getting beat by the Guardians. Here's a steal. Caratini throws it from his knees, but it's not a serious throw. They're not really covering. They let Langford get to second. They don't seem to care about Langford advancing. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Berger. Berger time. Brendan says Astros and Mariners in ALCS. Might be starting the ALCS tomorrow. Astros playoffs have already started as far as I'm concerned. Here's the toss, the 2-1. 92, up and outside, fouled off again by Berger. 2 balls and 2 strikes. His beard looks more like fur than beard. Like regular beard hair. It looks more like he tore it off of a bear and glued it to his face. He probably wrestled the bear down. He steps out of the box. Wants some extra time. Runner on second base here in the top of the 5th. The Strangers get 1 run on the board with a solo homer. Gordon trying to get out of the inning here with a 2-2 pitch, and that's high. Full count. Jake Berger at the plate. Jacques Peterson on deck. 1 runner in scoring position. A nice Swiffer might just be what the doctor ordered against Berger. Here comes the 3-2 pitch from Gordon. Instead, he goes with a changeup. It's hit to Pena, who grabs it and throws it to first right on time to get the 3rd out. Good job, Mr. Flash. Gordon gets through it, gives up 1 run, through 2 innings of work. If Gordon can get rid of that freaking home run ball, he could definitely be a more dependable extra arm in the bullpen for the Astros, but that he only gave up the 1 solo homer and managed to get through the rest of the inning without giving up anything else, I can take it. I can take that right now. More than likely, we will see Jaden Murray in the 6th inning. But right now, we're headed into the bottom of the 5th. The Astros with an opportunity, at least 4 more opportunities to pile on some extra runs. Send the boats back out in the bottom of the 5th. Do some more fishing. Try to bring some more lobsters home. Michael says if the Astros get to the ALCS, it won't be against Seattle, more likely Detroit. That team is stacked. Well, I'm going to give them credit where credit is due. But I do believe overall that they are a more formidable opponent than the Mariners. I wouldn't necessarily say they're stacked. I don't think any MLB team is stacked right now. The Astros could be stacked if they were playing like it. Because on paper, when you look at the names, that are on paper for the Astros, it's like, holy cow, that's an impressive lineup. That's an impressive bunch of guys. That's an impressive bunch of guys on that team. And I don't know why they're not hitting the ball better than they are. But there is no stacked team as far as performance is concerned in the MLB right now. Zach King Cole comes to the plate. They're showing some of his highlights, which we like so much, right? He is facing Cole Winn. First pitch on the way. High and outside. It's sad that Walker lined into the double play last inning because I really wanted to see Cole come up with bases loaded. That would have been awesome. Here's the pitch. The 1-1. Below the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Good take there. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Cole with a check swing, but it doesn't matter. That's a 96-mile-per-hour sinker right in the middle of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the toss. 90 miles an hour below the zone, full count. Working it, baby. 0-2 today. Batting .400 since he's been with the Astros. 1.271 OPS with 2 homers. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. He fouls that one off. 87 slider in the bottom of the zone. We're going to have another full count pitch. This next pitch will be the 20th of the game for Winn. Mr. Antonio, I think my walking is just okay. It could be a lot better. I'm way out of practice on it. Outside. 97, way out of the zone on the fastball. An easy take. He decides not to challenge him. And we have a man on first base. Leadoff runner. Cole keeps it going. Zach Cole against Cole Winn. Zach Cole Winn. Zach Cole wins. Jay Myers at the plate. Here's the pitch. He goes out to right field, and it's kind of deep at the warning track. Cole is going to tag and go to second. The throw is not good. Look at that. Cole tags from first base and gets into second. How about that? Wasn't expecting that. But it was deep to the warning track. Myers sacrifice fly to advance Cole to second base. Now we have a runner in scoring position for the Batman, Victor Caratini. Mark says there was a kid back in the days of Cubs on WGN. He would show up to the outfield seats with an old baseball at Wrigley Field. Anytime he caught a home run, he'd swap it out And throw the old one back. That's interesting. I don't even remember that, but that's pretty interesting. There's that tag by Cole. Nice challenge there. Make him throw it. Make him make the play. Little meeting on the mound before Caratini gets to the plate. Are you kidding me? The Strangers decide to slow the game down a lot. Once again with their nonsense. I kid you not. They send the catcher and the infield to the mound as if they're talking about Caratini. And then the umpire says, okay, that's it. You know, break up the meeting. And then Bocce comes out of the dugout to go to the mound to pull out the pitcher. Are you kidding me? Man, don't make there should be a rule against that. If you're going to change the pitcher, you shouldn't be able to do it after a mound visit. If you do a mound visit and then after that, after your time is expired, you decide to go ahead and change a pitcher, then they should automatically give a ball one to the batter. That's what I think. Because that's just ridiculous. That is the Rangers abusing the system. I've never seen the Astros do that, by the way. I don't remember seeing any team do that. I could see the Yankees doing it. But it seems to me that the Rangers, this is like their game plan a lot of times. They will deliberately do the mound visit or have the catcher go out and visit with the pitcher. And then after the catcher goes back and they get set up and it looks like they're going to pitch to the batter, then the manager comes out of the dugout and goes out to the mound to bring in a new pitcher. It's like, are you kidding me? People might say, well, they're just doing that because they want to give their bullpen guy a chance to get warmed up. I know that. But they should not be allowed to do that. That's what I'm saying. They shouldn't be allowed to do that without a penalty. That's delay of game. Can you imagine? In football, you know, you have the delay of game. There is a clock, and if you don't snap that ball before that delay of game, before that clock hits 0, you get a delay of game. Can you imagine if the quarterback? What if the game were designed so that the quarterback got one do-over, right? So if the clock got down to 1 second, he could just back up, and then the clock would reset. Caratini's at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Danny Colombe is on the mound, rather. That first pitch is a ball. Check swing. Caratini did not go. Danny Colombe. Now, what a strange name. He steps off the mound. Colombe, I think is what they're saying. Colombe. 1 ball, no strikes to Caratini. We got a runner on second base with 1 out. Here's the toss. He swings at that one. Fouls it off. 1-1. Yes, that's right, Jesse. The Strangers are the Wankies of the South. They are the Southern Wankies. Yeah, Cam was very energetic, but he has been kind of subdued for a while, you know. 91, just a little outside. That was close. Right on that outside edge. Astros get that one. 2-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch to Caratini. Woo, swing and a miss, low and inside on the cutter, and the count is even. Come on, Batman, let's do something here. We need more runs, baby. Run it up. Drive in that lobster. Bring it home. Bring it home. Here's the toss. High and outside. Full count. Zach King Cole needs to come back to his throne. Bring him home. Michael remembers when Bocce was a catcher for the Astros. Caratini hits that one out to center field. Cole is going to tag here. No problem. The throw is cut off. So 2 sacrifices to get Cole, second and third. But now we have 2 outs with Yainer Diaz at the plate. All we need is a hit in the gap. Opposite field line drive hit. Yainer stretching at the plate. Doing a little calisthenics or something. 1 for 2 with a RBI double. He did have a big hit earlier and scored shortly after that. That was a big inning for the Stros. Here comes the next pitch, the first toss to Diaz. 91 above the zone, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Yes, the Rangers are very whiny. Crotchety managing is what I would say. That's the best way to describe it. Bocce's managing is crotchety. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. High and outside. 1-1. Yeah, Prodigy. You think that that Berger was looking at Cole with hunger in his eyes and salivating? You look like a burger, boy. Here's the pitch in the dirt. 1-1 is the count. I'm sorry, 2-1 is the count. The Oklahoma Rangers. Jesse's calling for it. Got to give Jesse what he wants. He says, let's go, more runs. You have to do it, Yainer. Jesse says so. Here's the 2-1 pitch. He fouls that one off. Fastball low. Off into the crowd on the first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yes, Cole is indeed fast. Just another excellent tool to have in the shed, right? If you're good at the plate, good in the field, and you're fast, that, my friends, is an excellent combo. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Diaz takes that one inside. That was not too far from clipping him. He could have just stood there and maybe pretended to dodge it. But it's a full count. Dirty Sanchez on deck. 2 outs, runner on third. Here's the pitch. That was a ball forward, low and inside, but Diaz went after it. Turns into a strikeout instead of a walk. Missed opportunity. We lose a lobster, unfortunately. Lose a couple of them, actually. I think the Astros up to 14 now, 14 lobsters. So they go from being really good with the lobsters to being just so-so. We got 6 runs on the board, which is good. But we now have more than a dozen lobsters. And that's no good. That's no good. We are finished with 5 innings of ball. Things have gotten a little too quiet in Daikin Park in this inning. I don't know why. Just seemed to kind of become too quiet. I don't hear much going on in the park. Top of the 6th coming up. My guess is that Jaden Murray is going to be on the game, and that's going to be it for Colton Gordon. Just taking a guess, since he was warming up in the bullpen. 6-1, the Astros lead by 5 over the Strangers. Jacques Peterson is due up for the Strangers, followed by Kyle Higashioka and Josh Young. Man, it is warm in here. Maybe it's because I'm drinking this hot coffee. Try to get my extra little fan going. Brendan says, at least we're winning. We're losing money on our lobsters. Yeah, can you imagine if you're a fisherman or a lobsterman, you go out with your traps and your nets and you haul in like right now the Astros have 13, so you haul in, let's say, 19 lobsters. 19, all right? And you only bring 6 of those back home. That would be terrible, right? That's basically what the Astros have done with their their runners today. Now, in baseball terms, that's still not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. It's just acceptable. It's acceptable to have 13 missed opportunities, but 6 you've managed to bring home. That's good. It's acceptable. But in real life, if you were to turn that into lobsters caught versus lobsters actually brought back home, that would be terrible, right? Can you imagine losing so many? The first pitch to Dylan Moore is a ball. Here comes the next pitch. High and outside, ball 2. Gordon is actually still in the game, by the way. They did not put Jaden Murray in, so I'm going to have to change that back to Colton Gordon. Murray still is warming up in the bullpen, though. Misses again to Dylan Moore. It's a 3-0 count. Murray might be in right after this batter. We'll see. That's a strike. 3-1. Moore is batting for Peterson. Peterson is the DH. He's out of the game now. He had 1 hit today. Moore with a 204 batting average. So the guy with a 178 average is out, and they replaced him with a 204. Here's the 3-1. Nice. 91-mile-per-hour fastball in the lower outer part of the zone. Swing and a miss. Full count. Hey, Elvis, I'm doing fine. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Here's a 3-2. That's right in there. Hit sky high and foul out of play. We're going to have another full count pitch. Detroit lost against the Guardians. Nice. 7-5. That's good to hear. Yeah, Brendan, we'll see. We'll see. I think it depends on how he does with this batter. Here's the 3-2. 90 miles an hour. Fouls it off again. Stays alive. Gordon up to how many pitches? 49? Yeah, Gordon is about to hit 50 pitches. I mean, he was starting for the Astros, so pitching 50 pitches is not a big deal for him, but it really just depends on how he's doing and who he's facing. That's crushed. Holy cow, that was crushed to left field, but foul. Way up, man. That was in the upper deck, above the Gallagher Club. If you guys know where the Gallagher Club is, out in the left field area, in the foul territory, dangerous. Here comes the next full count pitch, and that's way outside and high for a walk. Several walks now. Well, several. I thought that was 3, but that was his second walk. Second walk in 2.1. No, not even technically 2.1 innings because he doesn't have an out yet, but Kyle Higashioka at the plate with a runner on and no outs. He hits that high in the air. Walker's over. Caratini's over. Who's got it? Caratini reached higher. It was just a matter of who had the higher reach. Caratini reached up there and got it. Walker and Caratini weren't really communicating. They pull a Rangers on that one. Look at that. Man. Walker was calling for it. Caratini took charge, but at least they got it. That was a big out right there. 1 away. First pitch to Josh Young is fouled off on the first base side. Look at this. We got lucky there. Big out. Don't want to see the Astros doing that. I mean, I'm glad that they caught the ball, but I don't want to see them pushing each other out of the way to get a foul ball. You know what I'm saying? Fouled off again on the first base side, and it's 0-2 against Josh Young. There's a runner on first with 1 away and 2 strikes to Josh Young. Well, they're keeping him in there right now because he's facing right-handers. Probably not going to pull him out for Murray until they get to the left-handers. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fouled off again on the fastball, low and in the zone. The count stays 0-2. As long as he's handling the right-handers, they're not going to pull him out. Yeah, we can't walk the 204 hitters. That is a cardinal sin. I agree with that. You got to pitch to them. Rangers would have been Berger knocking the other player over, missing the fly ball. Probably so. Low and in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Unless you tell Berger, hey, that's not a baseball. It's a mini cheeseburger. Then he would have destroyed everybody to get that ball. Yes, please don't ever do that again. You're right. The Swiffer. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, could be a double play. Altuve to Pena. Pena to Walker. Yes, that's it. The Astros are out of the inning. Well, an Altuve, Pena, Walker, double play. Colton Gordon gets through it. How about that? Good job. Colton 45 pulls the Astros through the top of the 6th. That was a Superman to Flash to Skywalker double play, courtesy of Colton 45. 10 hits for the Stros, 4 for the Strangers. 6-1 Astros going into the bottom of the 6th. Time for some more runs. Right now, the Astros need to be scoring more runs. I mean, by the 4th inning, we have 5 runs. I'm sorry, 6 runs. The 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. You're talking about 4 more innings of baseball. They absolutely must be scoring more runs for a couple of reasons. One is you definitely want to put the game as far out of reach as possible. But the other reason is you want to be consistent with your hitting. You don't want to rock back on your heels. You want to stay aggressive and consistent with your hitting. Danny Colon might still be in the game. He's only got 12 pitches. He's going to be facing Jesus Sanchez and Jeremy Pena, followed by Carlos Correa. We'll see how it goes. Let's take a look at some scores right quick around the league. Let me refresh this. Let's see here. The Blue Jays beating the Rays right now in the 8th. Looks like that game is going to be decided shortly, unless the Rays do something. A couple of guys on base. Who is batting right now? The Rays are at bat with 2 guys on, with 1 out. So the Rays are trying to come back right now. Hey, look at that. Loper Fido got a home run. What do you know? For the Blue Jays. Maybe the Rays will come back, beat the Blue Jays. That'd be nice. We'll see. Colom is back on the mound facing Cam Smith. Smith is batting for Sanchez. I guess they took him out because there's a lefty on the mound. I'm not surprised. First pitch to Cam is a ball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Below the zone. Good take. 2-0. Mariners are doing the batting practice. That's right. We need to score a lot too. Especially against this team. Really demoralize them. Make them think that the season is over. Make them feel like tomorrow's game is useless. Below the zone. Another good take. 3-0. Good 3-pitch take. Good discipline shown by Cam. Look at that. Maddox is going to come right out. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but Colom, this pitcher for the Texans, he just came off the IL yesterday. And after 3 straight balls, the Rangers are going to hold up the game again. Those pitches were not really far out of the zone. They were good takes by Cam Smith. I think this is just another opportunity for these strangers to hold up the game and make it annoying for the fans, for the viewers, and for the Astros. Cam swinging the bat around. He's like, let's go. Here comes the 3-0. Outside, ball 4. The sinker misses. 4-pitch walk. That visit to the mound did nothing. That's what you get. Come out to the mound on a 3-0. Slow down the game. Yep. And guess what? They go to the bullpen again. I kid you not. The strangers do it again. They do a mound visit. And now comes Bochy. Man, what in the world is the deal with this team? This team is so annoying. The managers are so annoying for the strangers. On a 3-0 pitch, the pitching coach goes out to the mound to pretend to check on the pitcher. He walks Cam Smith on the very next pitch, and then Bochy comes out to the mound for a pitching change. What in the world? I mean, come on. They should be penalized. When is MLB going to penalize this type of behavior? Delaying the game. They make the game unenjoyable. Frustrating. Baseball, I mean, even with the pitch clock, the pitch count, the pitch timer, whatever you want to call it, it's not a really, really fast moving game. It is much faster moving than it used to be, but it's quite a relaxed, slow moving game. But now some of these managers, like for the Rangers, for example, are just using the system to really grind the game to a snail's pace and make it so difficult to watch. So ridiculous. Jesse wants to know if there are any rules for intentional annoyance of opponents. There should be. There should be. Yeah, Brendan, you're right. He says the bullpen sucks for the Rangers. Yeah, but you know what? The Astros need to take advantage of that right now. Between now and the 8th inning, the Astros need to put up a few more runs. Absolutely, they should be. They should be. They need to show that they can do more than just pump and dump. You know what I'm saying? Astros need to be consistent. You know, the steady growth, not the pump and dump. Carl Edwards Jr. back in the game with his nice 6.75 ERA. Let's light him up. Jeremy Pena is at the plate. Come on, Flash. Here comes the pitch. 77 below the zone on the curveball. Strike 1. Carl Edwards Jr. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Pena. We have runner on first with no outs. Cam Smith got some wheels on the base. That's too far inside. Pena backs up for ball 1. 1-1 is the count. Bochy has a Kool-Aid head. Maybe they're very connected to his poor knees. It's in the dirt. 2-1. Good take. Luke says Rangers pitching coach looks like the news reporter from Spider-Man with the mustache. Are you talking about the editor? The chief? The one that says, "Are you serious?" In the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike. Edwards losing Pena. That would have been a walk if Pena had taken the first pitch. Prodigy says, better recognition, Jeremy. Indeed. Here's the 3-1. A little high. Wow, the umpire lays off. That caught the top of the zone, but the umpire laid off. So we get 1 back, and that's a walk. Pena is on. We've got 2 speedsters on base. A well-placed hit Could score both runs. The A's beat the Red Sox 2-1. That's good. The Mariners are in the bottom of the 8th, 10-3. Currently, the Astros and the Red Sox are in a tie. Astros win this game, they'll move ahead. Carlos Correa at the plate takes the first pitch in there for strike one. We have runners on first and second. The A's doing the Astros a favor today by beating the Sox. Can you believe that? The dirty, smelly Red Sox. Correa fouls that one off for the 0-2 count. Lobster count is 13-12. Astros are leading in that category, but their lobsters are not bad considering they've got 6 runs on the board. Swing the bat, Correa. He does. With an 0-2 count, I just want Correa to swing 100% of the time. I don't care what the pitch is. Just swing 100% of the time. Don't take a strike 3. 0-2 is the count. Cam Smith on second. Jeremy Pena on first. A decent little hit could put us up 8-1. Come on, South Korea, you can do it. He smashes that one foul on the first base side. 95-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside edge. The count remains 0-2. Here's a pitch. He hits this one hard to left field, but too high. Left fielder comes all the way in. It hangs up way too long. Langford is able to catch it for out number 1. Runners remain at first and second. Yeah, that wasn't deep enough for the sacrifice fly shake, but he tried. Speaking of sacrifice fly, Altuve comes to the plate. He's got a sacrifice fly, a sacrifice bunt, and a single RBI today. Altuve having a quiet good day, contributing to the Astros all over the field. Wouldn't mind seeing him drive one into the Crawford boxes right now. Bolster his confidence. Build his speed going into the postseason. Here comes the first pitch. 95 on the outside edge, strike 1. Sarcastic Prodigies calling for the double steal. How about a double steal hit and run? Would you do that with Altuve? They call the double steal hit and run. That would be funny. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled off. 94 miles an hour. It goes off into the crowd. 0-2 is the count. Three spot, please. How about a double steal and the homer at the same time? That'd be an awesome hit and run. Oof. Altuve goes after a fastball that was up at his head. Not able to get the bat on that one, and he goes down swinging, and that's out number 2. It would have been better for him to lay down a bunt there, but I guess they're thinking with a 5-run lead, it's better to let him swing, but it is what it is. Christian Walker comes to the plate. First pitch. Fouls it off. 95 inside. Altuve punished that high fastball at his chest, but the one at his head, nah, not so much. Oh, and 1 is the count to Walker. We don't need to leave these guys on base. We got to move them around. You must. Do it, do it, do it. Walker says, but I mustn't. Do it, do it. Anakin did it. That means you must, Walker. 1 ball, 1 strike. You must drive them in. Bring the lobsters home. We want the feast. 78 at the bottom of the zone on the curveball. Swing and a miss. 1-2. 2 outs. The Astros are starting to pile up the lobsters this inning. They've already added several more. They're up to 17. If Walker strikes out or gets out here, that's going to be 19. That's terrible. Come on. You got to drive them in. High and outside, 2-2. You must. Here's the 2-2. Below the zone. Good take, good call. Full count. All right.
Well, young Skywalker. It comes down to this. 2 runners on, 2 outs, full count. Trust your instincts. Use the Force. Not like that. That is not the Force. That is the bad side of the Force, the dark side. Walker strikes out because that's what Walker decided to do. You did not trust your feelings. You decided to use the technology. You decided to use your battle visor. And that is why you lost. The Death Star was not blown up, and it's all your fault. You are fired. You are the weakest link.
I don't want to say it. I really don't want to say it. But Walker struck out. So tired of saying that. I think my vocal cords are a little strained this season from saying those words. Walker strikes out. Walker struck out. These words, a little painful for my throat. Yes, he did. He went over to the strikeout side. He went to the strike side of the Force.
I would prefer for you to be on the ball side of the Force, but you seem to be given to the strike side of the Force. You are not the chosen one.
You know, after Walker strikes out, he says, "This is unfair!" Caesar, welcome in. Caesar comes rolling in the door. Welcome back. Comes rolling in the door with a $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. $10 super chat to buy Walker some swinging lessons. Arigato. I'm going to dedicate that super chat to getting some swinging lessons for Walker so that he strikes out less. Jaden Murray is now in the game for the Stros. First pitch is on the way. He is facing Alejandro Osuna. 97 right in there, and I'm trying to change his picture on the screen. There it is. There it is. We're all good. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. Ooh, nice. 96 mile per hour fastball on the outside. Looks like Osuna was expecting that one to be down the middle. It was not. 0-2. Caesar tossing out the equivalent of basically 2.5 breakfasts. 97 outside, a little high and outside. Ball 1. 1-2. The ball thrown back to the mound hits the dirt. He gets a new ball. Can you imagine Obi-Wan saying that? You're the weakest link.
Luke, you did not use your visor. You are the weakest link in the rebellion.
Altuve is underneath this one. This is a fly ball. Pena does the fake catch. I like how Altuve started that and Pena has picked it up. I love it. One away. Jaden Murray with the fly out to the infield. Top of the 7th. Looking good so far. Astros pitchers holding the Strangers to just 4 hits and 1 run on a solo shot off of Colton Gordon. Otherwise, it's been going the Astros' way. Next pitch is to Michael Hellman. Mayonnaise fouls it off. The fastball, 97 miles an hour. Yeah, right now, Correa is batting, Marduk, Pena's batting 304, Correa batting 275. That's in there. Bottom of the zone, 97 miles an hour. Strike 2. Good toss. I like to see us having more pitchers coming in, throwing some fast pitches, you know. Murray has got some upper 90s in him. Blue Ball's got upper 90s in him. They've got some good movement on their pitches. Swing and a miss. Look at that. A Swiffer, a 3-pitch strikeout. Murray's like, hey, Blue Ball's not the only one that can come in and strike out, guys. I can do it too. 2 down. Beautiful. Look at this Swiffer. Swift. Can't touch this. Yeah, Altuve has also brought his average back up a little bit. He's batting 263 now. Not stellar, but he had dropped a lot. And now he's bringing it back up slowly. That's nice. 96 miles an hour, just a little inside. Ball 1. Cody Freeman at the plate. He's the only one that has the RBI today with that solo shot off of Gordon. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. He rips that one hard, foul, out into the third base crowd. 1 ball, 1 strike. So, if you take a look at this, they're showing the rookies contributing to these teams right now. The pitchers, 24 innings for the Astros pitchers, 3 above the Rangers, and like 18 above the Mariners. ERA is 2.25. The Rangers rookies are 5.06 ERA. Crazy. Opponent OPS for the Astros pitchers is 508. Their batting average, 165. How about that? 82 low and away. Astros rookie pitchers are really getting it done. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Freeman. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And this next pitch will be too much. Here comes the toss. That's hit in the air. Altuve's underneath it. Altuve calls for it, and he puts it away, tosses it to Cam. Cam backs off and lets him take it. Altuve puts away two fly balls. Jaden Murray gets a strikeout. Beautiful 7th inning. That's what I like to see. 3 up and 3 down. The Astros going to the bottom of the 7th with another opportunity, 1 of 2 more, to toss some more insurance runs on the board against these really strangers. Strikeouts are his father. That's not true. That's impossible. Caesar says, thank you, Go and the Stros. Yes, thank you, Caesar, for being here. Being a long-time subscriber and supporter of the channel and the community. I really do appreciate you. Brendan wants to know, why are 6 ERA pitchers our kryptonite? The same reason the Astros create so many, or rather lose so many lobsters. It's a systemic issue, right? Maybe they spend more time focusing on the pitchers that they know better. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think many people have said we make the bad pitchers look like Cy Young Award candidates, right? That's funny. Mark says, I swear, anytime I watch Walker, he strikes out, but then I hear about how good he's been and leading the team in RBIs, etc. Yeah, well, the reason he's leading the team in RBIs is because he's basically in every single game. No matter how bad he is, it doesn't matter. He stays in every single game. He's got some kind of streak going where he hasn't missed a single game. I don't know what it is. Some kind of starting streak or something. I don't know. Complete games or something. I don't know. Somebody said something about that in the chat one day. Who knows? But it is crazy because he can get hot and he can be awesome. But then the standard, you could say the baseline standard for Walker is that 33% of the time he's going to strike out. Cole is at the plate. Speaking of strikes, takes the first pitch for strike 1. The next pitch is below the zone. Carl Edwards. Carl's Jr. Burgers is still on the mound. 1-1 is the count. Here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the toss. Another curveball. Inside. Good take. 2 balls and 1 strike. Prodigy says that's what happens with a sub 200 hitter. 94 right in there on the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Empire strikes out. That's hilarious. Perfect, Jesse. Perfect. I give you a thumbs up for that one. He hits this one way up in the air, and it's going to float to the left side and just out of play. Count remains 2-2. That one's really funny, though. The Empire strikes out. Eric says our 3 pitchers tonight have numbers 69, 70, and 61. If you didn't know better, you'd think this game was being played in March, not September. That's true. That is true. Here comes a 2-2 pitch to Zach King Cole. 95 above the zone, fouls it off. Another 2-2 on the way. Elvis says we accept any positive contribution for our players. Absolutely. Positive words, thumbs up, comments, subscriptions, donations, but definitely not strikeouts like that. Swing and a miss for Cole. He goes down, and that's out number 1. That ball was low and inside. Probably a strike either way on that lower inside corner. Just a difficult pitch to hit. A good pitch by Edwards, actually. Myers comes to the plate today with a single under his belt. A nice rip to left field. He goes after that first pitch and hits it out to right field, all the way out to the wall. And on the warning track, it's called by the right fielder. Man, very first pitch, he went after it. Just got it, I think, a little too much on the thick part of the bat. Not enough ping to get it over the wall, and that's out number 2. Victor Caratini comes to the plate. Diaz is on deck. He almost hit a homer. Here's the first pitch to the Batman. High and outside, ball 1. I called a homer for Caratini earlier. He's walked, and he's got a single, but still waiting for that homer. Now's your opportunity, bro. Another ball. 2-0. I want to see that hard rip. He calls timeout. He's not quite ready. Take your time, bro. Take your time. Fastball in there for a strike. 2-1. Elvis says the other game's animation looks great, brother. What's that? Misses again. Too low. 3-1 is the count. Are you talking about? Oh, are you talking about the score? The scores, the ticker, the live ticker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Whoa, Caratini swung his bat and lost the grip and almost hit Diaz with it. He threw his bat. The Batman threw his bat. Look at this. What in the world was he doing there? He's like, what? Come on, Batman. He had a confused look on his face, like, what just happened? Full count. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the toss. 94 miles an hour, up and out, ball 4. On base for 3 of his 4 at-bats today. Carl Edwards is going to be extended to face Yainer Diaz. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate. And he will have another opportunity to drive in some runs. He does have a double today, a nice double. That pitch is above the zone for ball 1. Yeah, Elvis, by the way, on that score ticker, I spent a lot of hours working on it to try to get it to work right. Had to work out some kinks on it. It's still not perfect, but, you know, it's on the way. Yainer hits that one straight into the air on the infield. The first baseman and the second baseman don't talk. What is it? with the Rangers and the Astros fielders today not talking with each other on those fly balls. Smash Burger. You guys were right earlier. What'd you say? If that were Burger, he would just push him out of the way? That's exactly what he just did with the second baseman. Burger pushes the second baseman out of the way and takes charge. He's like, I want my cheeseburger. That's a junior cheeseburger in that air. I'm going to eat it. Burger time. That's the third out. And the seventh inning is complete. The Astros up 6-1. Nothing doing the past couple of innings for either team. Jaden Murray most likely still on the mound in the eighth inning, but we'll see. Top of the eighth coming up in just a moment. I'm going to take a break and stretch my legs. Be right back, and until then, Geaux Stros. Well, it looks like Jaden Murray's day is over. Daniel De Los Santos is in. His first pitch was a nice fastball right in there for strike one. The second pitch is fouled off to the left side and just out of play. 87-mile-per-hour changeup. That is what we call, in the industry, strike two. Oh, and 2 pitch on the way to Josh Smith. He fouls it off down the first base side. The grounder, another 97-mile-per-hour fastball. I haven't said anything in a while about liking the live stream or subscribing. If you're an Astros fan and you like the live play-by-plays, then please subscribe. The majority of people are not subscribed, more than 75% at least. And if you have not liked the live stream, please do so now. I'd appreciate that. Arigato gozaimasu. Here's the next pitch. 96 miles an hour. Today's game is brought to you by my loyal members and Super Chat donors, my PayPal donors, my Buy Me a Coffee donors, my patrons, all of the above. Here's the next pitch. The 1-2 fouled off at the plate. 1-2, the count remains. I need to change my pitcher. De Los Santos is on the mound for the Stros. Let's see if he gets the strike here. Strikeout. There we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on, no outs. That one's outside. The changeup misses. 2-2. Smash burger. That's right. It was a smash burger, Prodigy. 100%. Yeah, that's right. Bounce down to first base. Easy easy grounder down the first base line. Smith thought it was going to be foul. He didn't even really run down the first base line. He just kind of stood there. He's like, oh, that's going to be foul. He just stood there. But Walker was able to get it. It bounced in. Look at that. Right inside the line. Walker scoops it up easily. Steps on the bag. No need to rush there. One down. Nice. Nice. Easy out. Wyatt Langford comes to the plate. First pitch on the way. 88 just below the zone. Ball one. Yeah, Mark, the big dumper hit 55 and 56 tonight. He's probably taking the steroids. He's taking those roids. 87 miles an hour. In the bottom of the zone that time. Strike one. That evens the count. Berger is like, get my belly. Get my belly. That's what he said on that fly ball in the infield. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Mr. Langford. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's hit up the middle. Myers floats back and he's underneath it. Puts it away for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. They keep talking about the 2026 World Baseball Classic coming up. Are any of you interested in the World Baseball Classic, or what is your level of interest and care about the World Baseball Classic? Because countries like Japan and Taiwan, South Korea, they care a lot more, and some South American countries, they care so much more about the World Baseball Classic than most Americans do. We were just talking earlier about getting my belly. Here's another guy that would probably say that. Caesar. Rowdy Roddy Tellez, getting my belly. This is a guy who can eat Jake Berger. Can you believe that? Berger can eat other people, but this guy can eat Berger. 96. Barely misses that upper outer corner. Ball one on the 96 mile per hour. Quick ball. Yeah, the likes are not bad. It would be nice to get some more. Get up to over 130 would be possible, I think. 87 low and out, inside rather. 2 balls and no strikes. If you look at the total number of views that I get on one video like this, it's well over 1,000. So the like ratio is actually very, very low. But the regular viewers never, on these games, maybe right now, it depends on the importance of the game, but it varies. Generally doesn't get to be more than an average of 150 at a time. But as the channel grows and the games get more important, that can go way, way up. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's another strike. 2 strikes in a row thrown by De Los Santos after the first 2 balls. Roddy's like, was that a burger? If it's a burger, I'll go after it, but I didn't think those were burgers. Umpire says, well, those were in the zone. He's like, what does that mean? Does that mean that it's food? It's food? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Fouls it off. 96 in the top of the zone. Come on, De Los Santos. I really want to say in your face. Help me out here. Help me out, son. Brendan says the Royals making a comeback. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't mind that at all. Jake Berger's twin at bat. This guy's even bigger. Maybe he's the big brother to Jake Berger. Woo! 86 just below the zone on the changeup. Look how close that was. Woof. In Spanish, that's what you'd say. That's what you'd describe as el closo. I know that's not correct. I'm just having fun with it. And too far inside. He walks him. Come on. Why are you walking a big beefy guy like that? I just said wolfing. I guess that's when you eat too many waffles and you throw up. It's called wolfing. That's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of what would that mean, wolfing? What's wrong with him? Oh, he's wolfing. Oh, he had a big breakfast, too many waffles. Rowdy probably has to use one roll of toilet paper every time. He just picks up the whole roll. For every wipe, one roll. That's disgusting. Oh my gosh. Okay. Strike one to Jonah Heim. Here comes the next pitch. Oh, that's crushed to right field. That's gone. It's going to be 6-3. De Los Santos gives up a 2-run homer to Jonah Heim. He lost Rowdy on that third out when he had a chance to end the inning. And he gives up the homer, and the crowd is booing. Why are they booing? The changeup at the top of the zone. Right across the waist. Right across the stomach. Gift wrapped by De Los Santos. 6-3. Josh Miller is going to go out and talk with De Los Santos, and they get some action going in the bullpen. This is how it's done right here. You know, you go out and you get your guy warming up. It would be nice to see the Astros do what the Rangers did, you know. After the mound visit, they let the batter come to the plate, right? And then maybe they do a catcher mound visit. And then after that, then they pull in the next pitcher. Just to slow the game down and stop it. Give the strangers a taste of their own medicine. Higashioka is at the plate. Brian Abreu is warming up in the bullpen. But, you know, this is kind of the situation that Abreu would normally come in anyway, right? 2 outs, come in, shut it down, and then come in and pitch the next inning. That's what he's done a lot in the past. It's just that it's the 9th inning instead of the 8th. That first pitch is in there for strike one. 0-1 is the count to Higashioka. Nobody on base. 2 away. Here's the toss. Nice. 88 slider in the bottom of the zone. 0-2. Brendan, you're right. Something about it, man. Get 2 outs and then have a little bit of a breakdown. What's the deal with that? Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Shut it down. Check swing. Did he go? They say he did not. 1-2 is the count. Retarded statements get banned from the channel. See you. This is hit to left field over the head of Cole. He gets the hop off the wall, and that's just going to be a single. Higashioka is held to first base. Josh Young is due up. I wonder if that's it for De Los Santos. We'll see. Another hit for the Strangers, and they got a runner on first with 2 outs. De Los Santos stays in, and Josh Young is at the plate. Here's the first pitch. 97 up and in, foul tip, strike one. Oh, and 1 is the count. Here's the toss. Nope, he goes over to first base. The runner is back. Yeah, it would be nice. It would have been nice if we didn't have to use Abreu, but it seems clear even if De Los Santos gets through this inning, that Abreu is going to be coming in. Hi, 1-1. Yeah, Prodigy is really perturbed by these crummy hitters getting hits, right? I understand. Here's the toss. That's hit hard to left field. Another down in the left field. Holy cow. Cole was playing way over. Rangers might get a run out of that. Here's the throw. Yeah, they're not going to be able to throw it in there in time. He's safe. Cole was playing way over, and Young rips it out into left field, and that's going to be a double with an RBI. It's 6-4. It's a 2-run game. Finally, they pull out De Los Santos after giving up 3 runs. And they're going to Abreu. Not quite sure why they let him go that long. Just didn't work out. De Los Santos started off so well, but after two outs, he just started doing the same thing that I've seen too many times with these pitchers. Get 2 outs and then start breaking down. What in the world is the deal with that, I also want to know why Cole was playing so far over. If he had been playing a little further over to the left, you got a right-handed batter. Why is there such a huge gap? Even if he's a pull hitter, why are you playing so far over? I don't get it. If he had been playing just a little further over to the left, then that run would not have scored. That was disappointing. Well, Leonard, he didn't misplay the fly ball. Are you talking about the one from earlier? The one that went over his head? Or are you talking about the one that was just hit? Because the one that was just hit, the problem is I don't know what's going on the field. So his position out in left field is not necessarily his choice. It's a combination of information. So De Los Santos has a fastball, right? But of course, every pitch he throws is not fast. And I don't think that where Cole plays in the outfield is totally up to him. I think he has to move into position where they want him to be, depending on the combination of the pitcher and the batter, right? Especially the batter. If the batter is a pull hitter, of course they're going to have him playing closer to the line. But I feel like even with a guy who's not a pull hitter, a guy who's opposite field, you can't let him have that much of a gap in left field. So I think that was a coaching error. My guess is that's a coaching. You can't blame Cole, because if the coach is telling just go out there and play where you think you need to play, then that's also on the coaches. You know what I'm saying? That's a coaching error. But right now we have 1 runner on second with 2 outs, and Abreu is on the mound. First pitch is low. Ball 1. He is facing Alejandro Osuna. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. On the outside edge, 96-mile-per-hour fastball. 1-1 is the count with that strike. Brendan, you're right. You said, I guess that Peter guy's a Ranger fan. Well, he wasn't Peter. His name was Pastor. Kind of an ironic name considering he was a jerk. 97 outside. 2-1 is the count. But you said that I guess he's a Ranger fan, just mad because the Rangers have a lucky World Series. They've never dominated like we are. Yeah, that's right. And the funny thing is, they always wait until they feel like they have an opportunity. They're coming back, and then they start saying crap. They lurk in the chat. He's obviously heard a lot of stuff that I've said during the game. And now he's lurking, waiting for the opportunity to jump in instead of being brave and saying something while the Rangers are struggling. He waits until they start getting some hits and some runs, and then he starts to get bold. That's what all these weak cowards do. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's high. It's a full count. Osuna at the plate, facing Abreu. This is a very big pitch. Adolis Garcia has been brought into the game. He's on deck. 2 outs. Full count. Runner on second. Abreu on the mound. Here's the pitch. Strike him out. Fouls it at the plate. 86-mile-per-hour slider. Almost got him. Prodigy, it's a good question. Is it too much to expect the Astros to get this crappy 200-hitter Osuna out right now? It's not too much to ask. Abreu is here to deliver. Abreu for you. Here comes the toss. Fouls it off. 97 at the bottom of the zone. Osuna just barely gets a piece of it. Leonard's talking about the one over his head. Well, at first, I thought Leonard, when I saw it, I thought he might have misplayed it because he did take a couple of steps in and then had to retreat. But when I saw the replay, I realized that even if he had gone back, he wouldn't have been able to get to it. It was a line drive to the wall, so he wouldn't have really been able to get it. Here's the next toss. It's outside. Just barely outside, up and out. And that's a walk. Adolis Garcia comes to the plate. You can see that that's just outside. The umpire could have given it to us, given one back to us, but it was a ball. What a fun game, right? We are in the top of the 8th. The Rangers have already put 3 runs on the board, and Adolis Garcia is at the plate with 2 outs. He represents the lead run, the go-ahead run, rather. Short little break on the mound with Correa and Caratini. 8 pitches, 4 of those in the zone for Abreu. Don't worry about it, Brennan. Yeah, I banned him because he just made some rude comments. So guys like that, you can't put them in timeout. Just gotta get rid of them. Grounder right through the right side on the very first hit. That's gonna score a run. 6-5. Runners on the corners. Could have been worse. That's another earned run for De Los Santos. 6-5 right now. Fastball right down the middle. Opposite field hit right through the hole. Roids Garcia. Aroids. Yeah, stop the bleeding right now. Stop the bleeding. I know we have one more. We have 2 more at bats, but come on now, you know. We still have 1 more inning to pitch. We still have to shut this down in the 9th, right? And we can't be wearing out Abreu too much in this inning if he's going to pitch the 9th. Cody Freeman comes to the plate. With runners on the corners, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Below the zone, ball 1. Well, we can't blame De Los Santos, though. You're right, but, you know, the runner goes to second. He's allowed to get there. And that's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The go-ahead run is at second. No throw. One ball, 1 strike to Freeman with 2 outs, 2 runners on. Come on, Abreu. I know you got it in you, bro. You can do it. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Check swing foul ball on the 98-mile-per-hour pitch. That's what I like to see. Crank it up a little bit. Let's see that 100-mile-per-hour fastball just above the top of the zone for strike 3. That's what I want to see. That's the fastest pitch he's thrown since he's been up there is 98. Let's see him crank it up another notch. Just a little above the zone. Make it impossible for him to hit. Maybe up and in. Just put it right there. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That's in the dirt. Whoa, what an amazing catch by Caratini. 88 miles per hour. How in the world did he catch that ball? He just saved a run. The count is 2-2. Look at this catch by Caratini. How in the world did he catch that? Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Abreu puts it 97 above the zone. Fly ball over to the left side. Correa's underneath it. Puts it away for out number 3. All right, there we go. That's the pitch that I wanted. That high fastball. He finally throws it. 97, just above the strike zone, exactly where I wanted it. And he gets the fly ball. We're out of the inning. Whew! Good grief, Abreu. Scared the crap out of us. De Los Santos gets 2 outs. The Astros they have a comfortable lead of 5 runs. 5 runs. De Los Santos gets 2 outs. And then they proceed to just give up run after run after run after run. And now we are up by just 1. Going into the bottom of the 8th. We still have 1 more inning to go. This was not the 9th. It felt like the 9th. But holy cow, the Astros break down. A reliever breakdown in the 8th. Very disappointing. You're right, Leonard. I mean, our back-end relief is shaky. It's shaky. To be performing like this, like Prodigy has said over and over and over today, he's complained about these terrible hitters on the Strangers getting hits off of us, and he's right. We shouldn't be giving up so many hits to these guys. Let me go grab a drink right quick. I need some more electrolytes. I'll be right back. Bottom of the 8th. 6-5 Astros. New pitcher on the mound, Chris Martin for the Strangers. An ERA of 2.54. He just took his last warm-up pitch, and he's ready to go, or at least he thinks he is. He's facing Cam Smith. Pena on deck. Correa in the hole. Here we go. First pitch of the bottom of the 8th on the way. Cam Smith hits it out to left field, and it's not going to be deep enough. Man, the very first pitch, he line drives it, but right to the left fielder, who's playing in just the right spot. Cam hits it exactly to where they thought it was going to go. 1 down. Eric, you're right. The Astros need to play like their season is coming to an end. They were doing that, right? For the first 4 innings. After that, they just kind of shut down. First pitch to Pena is below the zone for ball 1. Good take on the Swiffer. Pena 3 for 3 today. 3 singles, 1 walk, 2 runs scored. Here comes the next toss. He grounds that one foul down the third base side. The count is even, 1-1. The Astros pitchers were so good through 7 innings. The Astros bats were really good through 4 innings. But now, you know, those extra runs they didn't score over the past several innings, it's coming back to bite them in the butt. Whoa, did he get hit? Got him on the chest. Umpire says it got him. And he's on base. Pena has been on base 5 times. Can you believe that? A walk, 3 hits, and a hit by pitch. Correa comes to the plate. Also having a good day today. Couple of hits. But he's been left on base like 4 times. Pena on first base, 1 out. First pitch is in the top of the zone for strike one. Yes, let's go strangers right into the ground. 91 miles an hour in the bottom of the zone. So Correa takes one at the top of the zone and then the bottom of the zone. The count is 0-2. Now it's time to swing, but only if it's around the zone, my friend. Here's the pitch. He taps that one up the middle, and that's going to be a double play in the inning. That's it for the Astros. Double play, unassisted, very easy tapper right up the middle. An inning-ending grounder. Altuve will be leading off the batting for the Astros in the ninth, if needed. But as of right now, Brian Abreu, if he's still on the mound, he is up to 14 pitches with a 2.41 ERA. 8 pitches of his 14 have been in the strike zone. And he's going to be facing the top of the batting order. Josh Smith, Wyatt Langford, and Rowdy Tellez. I mean, who else do you go to? Who else could you go to in this situation? I think you have to let Abreu pitch. Mr. Page wants to know, what are the Guardians guarding anyway? The Gardindians? That's what I call them. The Gardindians. I will never accept the Cleveland team as the Guardians. I think it's just stupid. They are the Indians, period. They are. Yeah, they could have given Luke, you're right. At least give Abreu a breather. I agree. I mean, they could have tried to bunt. You know, they got a runner on. Could have tried to bunt him over. Even if you get thrown out at first, 2 outs, you got a guy on second base, you avoid the double play, and you give Altuve an opportunity to drive him in, you know. At least, you know, you can try it. I agree with Mr. Page. Let's hope Abreu got it out of his system. You know, the great pitchers can do that. Have a really difficult inning and come back. And Abreu is on the mound. He's facing Josh Smith. Here's the first pitch. Nice. 87-mile-per-hour slider, low and inside, strike one. We're in the top of the ninth inning, everybody. Astros up by 1 run. 10 hits to the Strangers' 8. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball. It's going to be caught by Pena, but there is no play. Infield hit for Josh Smith and leadoff base runner. The crowd issues some boos after that one. Wyatt Langford comes to the plate with no outs. Runner on first. Leonard, don't be silly. Taking a last chance on Presley? Get real. Come on, don't ask silly questions. You don't understand the Astros and Presley at all if you really believe that. That's in there. The first pitch to Langford is a strike. Dubon is in left field. Zach Cole has moved over to right, and Sanchez is out. Here's the pitch. Ooh, nice. Langford went too far on the half swing. He got him on the slider. Strike two. Experience does not play importance if you're performing badly through the whole year. Here's the 0-2. Check swing, 98 miles an hour, rather, up and in. Count remains 0-2. Yeah, Paul, I'm already aware of that, but they're still the Indians. They're the Indians. But it still doesn't. Yeah, but like just like Mr. Page says it. But what are they guarding? You know, even if they have gargoyles and stuff, what are they guarding? Their feelings? Are they guarding their feelings? They're guarding the feelings of the wokesters who changed the name to the Guardians. That's who they're guarding. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Langford. Here comes the pitch from Abreu. Nice, strike 3, 97, right in there. Got him looking. Langford goes down. Out number 1. Boom. Beautiful pitch. Perfect. Right across the thigh. 97 miles an hour, right in the middle, slightly outside part of the zone. Beautiful pitch. Roddy Tellez at the plate. Takes that first pitch in the dirt on the slider, ball 1. Yeah, Mr. Page, you're right. But right now, the main thing is that he gets the job done, you know? Here comes a 1-0. Because we got to have this game. What's the use in saving him for tomorrow if we don't win today? Got to have it. That's the way the Astros are right now, you know? Day to day. Got to have it today. Going to have it again tomorrow. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 88 mile per hour slider down very low. 1-1. So now you're changing your opinion, Leonard? You don't make any sense. This is hit high in the air. Left center field. Dubon is over, and he's got it. Puts it away for out number 2. Runner stays at first. We are 1 out away from ending this game. He got the out for you there, Prodigy. Tellez goes down, and Jonah Heim comes to the plate. 1 more out. That's right. 1 more out. Crowd is on their feet. Abreu goes over to first base. Smith gets back. No problem. He's batting .083 against Abreu in his career. He's 1 for 12. Come on, Abreu. Be the man. Strike 1. Swing and a miss. 97 on the fastball. Rusty Gamer, absolutely. Let's go, Abreu. It doesn't matter what you did in the 8th inning. What matters is locking it down right now. You can do it. Here's the toss. 98 up and in. Swing and a miss again. Strike 2. Cranking it up just a little bit more. The crowd is on their feet and cheering right now. 0-2 is the count to Jonah Heim. We are 1 strike away from taking game 2 away from the Strangers. Here is the 0-2 pitch. He hits it into right field, and he can't make the catch. Traps it. He brings it into third. That's going to be down for a hit, but Cam somehow trapped that ball. I don't know how in the world that ball did not get out into right field. That ball was line drove into right field. Look at this. Cam came in. Somehow he scooped that ball. I do not know how Cam caught that ball. He just saved a run. Holy cow. What a block by Cam. Unbelievable. The next pitch is a slider outside. Kyle Higashioka is at the plate with 2 runners on, 2 outs. Sarcastic Prodigy, thank you so much. That's going to be a heart attack super chat. A Cam special. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Low and outside again, 2-0. 2-0 pitch. Right in there. 88-mile-per-hour slider. Strike one. 2-1 is the count to Higashioka. Yes, I can't believe that. 30 pitches now for Abreu. Here comes the next one. Swing and a miss. 88-mile-per-hour slider, right to left. Good toss. 2-2 is the count. Man, we can't take much more of this. This is nuts. Two balls, two strikes. Here's the toss. Runner's going swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Abreu gets the strikeout on the slider. The Astros win 5-6. Holy cow. Brian Abreu comes through at the very end. What a struggle to get through the 8th and the 9th inning. It was just enough. Holy smokes. Holy Toledo. Look at that pitch. Didn't even come close with that swing. Abreu gives us a freaking heart attack. Cam Smith saves a run. And Abreu gets the strikeout. And that completes the trilogy for this game. Man, what a game. I don't think I can take another game like that. We haven't even gotten to the postseason, and already it's unbelievable. Rusty Gamer coming in with exactly what I'm thinking. My heart can't take much more of this. Let's go. $10 super chat. We are in complete agreement. I'm going to say my heart is racing, no lie. Thank you for the $10 heart attack super chat. Holy freaking cow, guys. We have an 8th inning, basically a breakdown by Brian Abreu. And we go from having a 5-run lead to a 1-run lead. He finally gets us out of the inning. Now, he didn't give up all those runs. Enyel De Los Santos came in and started to lose the game. We started to lose control in the 8th inning. Brian Abreu was brought in to try to put out the fire, and he struggled a little bit. But we got through it with 4 runs given up. Our lead goes down 6-5. Our lead goes down 6-5. We go into the top of the 9th. Abreu comes back in, gets into a pickle. The tying run should have scored with that hit to right field, but somehow, I have no idea how Cam made that catch, but he came in really fast and trapped that ball, kept the runner at second base. That ball, I feel like there was like a 90% chance of that ball getting by Cam Smith and going all the way to the right field fence. Should have scored a run. That would have tied the game. Cam makes the catch. And then right after that, Abreu gets the strikeout to get us out of the inning and win the game. Astros are now up in the series 2-0 over the Rangers. 83-69 is their record. The Strangers were pulling away from them a little bit. They're at 79-73. We are really hurting them. There's going to be a lot of tears tonight in Arlington. Holy cow, look at this scoring summary. The Astros just light it up in the first 4 innings and then completely shut it down. They get nothing after the 4th. So once again, the bipolar nature of the Astros batting comes back into play. It almost cost us the game. The combination of reliever breakdown in the 5th inning. Well, not the 5th inning so much. It's the 8th inning. The 1 run in the 5th was not a big deal, but the 8th inning there was a breakdown, and the Astros not scoring anything after the 4th. The combination of these two things really, really hurt. So close, but we scraped it out. We get a big win against a tough pitcher. Isn't it interesting? The Astros did really well against their main pitcher. And after that, they struggled against their relievers. Ridiculous, right? In the first inning, Altuve hit a sacrifice fly, scoring Pena. In the bottom of the third, Walker grounded out, scoring Pena again. In the bottom of the fourth, Diaz doubled to left, scoring Myers. Sanchez singled to right, scoring Caratini and Diaz. The Astros are up 5-0. And then in the bottom of the fourth, Altuve came up, singled again, scoring Sanchez. The Astros were cruising in the fourth inning, 6-0. And after that, they just started either stranding people or not getting on base at all. And that's where the Rangers started hitting. A homer in the fifth. Another homer in the eighth. 2-run shot. Astros lead was cut 6-3. Young doubled, scoring Higashioka 6-4. Garcia singled 6-5. It was a 1-run game going into the ninth inning. And man, it could not have gotten much closer than that. If bases had been loaded, that would have been the only way for that game to be closer in the ninth because there were 2 runners on. Cam Smith comes up with a great catch. And then the final strikeout by Abreu. But if you look at the pitcher's information here, blue ball, 3 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Brilliant 3 innings by blue ball. Gordon comes in, pitches 3 more pretty good innings. Gave up 1 run off a solo homer. But pretty locked down. 1 run given up in 6 innings. I'll take that all day long. Murray came in and held it down for another inning. 7 straight innings with 1 run on the board for the Strangers. And then De Los Santos came in, pitched through the first 2 batters, got the first 2 outs. Everything was looking good, and then it just fell apart. The Rangers came back and scored 4 runs with 2 outs. So ridiculous. And then Abreu finally ends it in the ninth inning. But he gave up 3 hits, a walk, and he got 2 strikeouts. And that last strikeout was the big one. Holy cow, holy Toledo. What a game. Whew. Yeah, I can't take that. Can't take much more of that. Jesse says I need to check my blood pressure. Me too. My head is pounding. Cam saved the game. Yes, he did. At the very least, he saved the tie. He saved extra innings, at least, if not the game itself. Sarcastic Prodigy is unsarcastically prodigious. That super chat brought it home. Yes, it did. The Mariners are up 0.5. Yep, they remain up 0.5 because they won today, but we won today. So no ground gained, no ground lost. Rusty misses Milo calling those homers. Prodigy says the Astros made it much closer than it should have been. You're right about that. They held the game so strongly through most of the game, right? 7 innings. It was all Astros, and then they just started letting it fall apart. But luckily, they held it together just long enough to get it back to shore. We did it. They did it. Who's pitching tomorrow? Let's take a look. If I can get it up on the screen here. It looks like they have Javier listed on the mound for tomorrow. Christian Javier and Jacob deGrom. Now, deGrom is a pretty good pitcher, but the Astros lit him up the last time they faced, so it'd be nice to do that again tomorrow. That's for sure. And the final lobster count, that's a good question, Marduk. Let's take a look. The Rangers had 18. The Astros had 21. So the Astros wind up with 6 runs, but 21 lobsters. For the first 4 innings, their lobster and run count was perfect. It was beautiful. But then after that, we just started piling up the lobsters, and we're losing them right and left. Just crazy. So the total lobster count, not good today. It started off really good, and then it went from great to good to so-so, and then to not so good, and now it's kind of bad. When you have 6 runs on the board, but you had 21 other opportunities that you missed, that's no good. The Astros should have had 10 or 11 runs today, not 6. At least 10. At least 10. Yes, that's right, Jesse. What happened to the Strangers fans now? That's right. They were just hanging around, waiting, and they thought, see, they jumped the gun, right? If they're going to come in and troll us, they need to come in and troll after the Astros lose, not when the Rangers start their comeback or start what seems to be a comeback. They were a little premature to celebrate there. But that's what a lot of these spineless fans do. Go into somebody else's chat. I'm not going to put up that nonsense. If you want to come in and listen as a Rangers fan, you're welcome to come in. But don't start dumping retarded comments into the chat, you know? I can't accept that. I'm always gonna kick that out. Ron says, great call of today's game. It was fun and exciting. Had a good time tonight. Thank you. Have a good rest or a great rest of your day. You too, Ron. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here, listening in, and supporting the community. And Jesse says Astros need to have more runs when they have more opportunities on base. You're right. You can't be pulling all the lobsters into the boat and then lose them on the way back. You know, you got to secure them and bring them home. And the Astros have been struggling with that. They were doing so good, but then they started losing it. Oh, whoops. Sorry about that. You're right, Mark. I forgot that I'd switched it over because I had it on the I had it on this screen. I forgot that I had switched it over. Hopefully I won't get with the commercials, maybe I won't get a copyright claim. We'll see. We'll see. But thank you for letting me know. Let's see here. Yep, Leonard, I'm overseas too. I'm in Japan. So it's almost 12:30 for me right now. So it's about time to get some lunch. Eric says, go. Video. Thank you. Yes, I got it. Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me know. You guys are heads up. It's nice to have the pinch hitters. Jesse says, well, gonna see what Brett and Eric are up to. Geaux Stros, let's do this again. Hopefully they'll have something a little more enlightening to say today. I've not been happy with some of their comments recently. You guys, if you guys want to say in the live chat, if you're talking to Eric at Locked On Astros, you can let him know to give some more love to the Astros about the game yesterday, because they talked about how bad the defense was and the errors that they made. But the Astros only had one error, okay, just one, and they had 2 really great defensive plays. And he didn't say anything about those. He didn't mention those. He just talked about the problems and the errors of the Astros defense. But the Astros only had one error yesterday. And they didn't have a lot of defensive problems. They actually had 2 amazing defensive plays yesterday. Highlight reel defensive plays. And he didn't say anything about that. Instead, he tossed he tossed shade at him. You guys should hold his feet to the fire on that. I feel like sometimes they don't watch the game, so they don't see all of these plays, right? And when they don't see the plays, they only see certain plays or certain highlights, and then they base their opinions based on those highlights. But I don't think that's fair. If you don't watch the entire game all the way through, how can you make comments on something that you're not sure about, you know? Because they have a perspective, a perception of the game, not a perspective of the entire game. They just have a perspective of aspects of the game. Now, I'm not Eric, and I'm not Brett, and I'm not those guys. I'm not Chandler Rome. Now, I do know this. Chandler Rome doesn't watch most of the games. He's only commenting on chatting with the players sometimes and doing interviews and getting information from the game. But how many people, seriously, think about this. How many people literally sit and watch 100% of the game, every single game from beginning to end? How many people actually have time for that? Almost nobody. Literally almost nobody. Even the biggest Astros fans, few of those have the ability to watch 100% of every single game during the season. And so because I'm doing the live play-by-play, it has given me an opportunity to really perceive and understand the players and the team on a completely different level than I ever have in my life. It doesn't make me an expert, but it does cause me to look at podcasters and journalists and Astros commentators in a completely different way. Because if their full-time job is not following the Astros and watching all of their games and then commenting, then inevitably, unless they're careful, they're going to make some comments about the Astros that just aren't quite accurate, and they're going to miss some things. And whenever the Astros get shade tossed at them for not having a good defensive day, when they actually did have a good defensive day with just one error. Now, getting one error is not even common for the Astros, but they had a couple of defensive gems yesterday. And to get criticized for something that you actually did really well, that's not fair. Can you imagine having your kid go out and have a game, a really good game, and make a couple of really great plays and have an overall pretty good day and even win the game, but then later on you talk about what a rough game they had and their defense wasn't so good? They're going to be confused and saddened by that because they won the game. They had a pretty good game. They made a couple of really good plays, and none of that was mentioned. None of that. So hold their feet to the fire. Don't just take... That's another thing you need to be careful about. If you miss the game and you go listen to some of these podcasts and stuff, you need to be careful about some of the things that they say. You can't assume that what they're saying is right. They're not always right. Sometimes it's just a feeling, a perspective, an opinion, not the fact. J. Paul says, you really think Rangers fans have integrity? Some of them do. I listened to the... And sometimes I do this. After the Astros play the Rangers, if the Astros win, I like to go, and I'll do that again today, I like to go listen to the Texas Rangers podcasts. Not all of them, but a few of them. Because I want to see how they respond to the game, what they're saying about their chances to win the division, and what they're saying about the Astros, and their perspective on the games, I like to hear these things. I think they help me a lot. They also help me to understand how they feel about certain players on their team, how they view them. And the Locked On Rangers guy, I don't know if their Locked On Postcast guy is the same as their regular, Locked On... you have like two main different usually with the Locked On network, they have like a guy who does the postcast, and then you have another one or two guys that do the follow-up videos, right, for the games. And so you have the initial reaction, and then you have kind of like the discussion reaction after that. Well, the postcast guy that the Rangers have, I think he's a pretty balanced guy. I can listen to him. I'd say he has integrity. So I respect him. But Mark, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. For those of you who are finished with the game today, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the support. Our likes did go up today by a significant margin, so that's nice to see. We got up to 100. That's excellent. Thank you so much for liking and supporting the channel. I appreciate you once again, primarily those who donated today with the super chats. You guys are freaking awesome. You're making it possible for me to keep going. And for those who simply just watched the game, if you stayed here and you watched a significant portion of the game, even if you're not able to listen or pay attention, even if you got other things going on like work, or if you're doing things with your family, as long as you're letting the game play in the background, even that is helping my channel. Watch time is very important to YouTube, and it helps my channel get exposed to more Astros fans, and it helps the community to grow. And that actually financially, you may not realize it or not, but that actually financially supports my channel. The more people who watch my channel and the longer the view time, that actually adds to the income of the channel and the community. So I appreciate even that. But my donors, you guys are the all-stars, and you're making it possible for me to do what I'm doing right now. I'm feeling pretty exhausted. I am worn out right now. That game really took a lot out of me. I wasn't feeling it until just now. I'm kind of coming down off that high, but my head is still pounding from that 8th and 9th inning. What a game. Looking forward to grabbing lunch right now, and I think that's pretty much it. I mentioned earlier who's pitching tomorrow. Right now, Christian Javier is scheduled to pitch. He's going to be facing off against Jacob deGrom. Now, you should probably remember that deGrom was lit up by the Astros last time he was on the mound. We have the opportunity to win the Silver Boot, guys and gals. We are tied up. The season series with the Strangers is 6-6. We have 6 wins and 6 losses. We needed to sweep this series to win the Silver Boot, and now we put ourselves in a position to do just like that. Win the Silver Boot tomorrow. Send the Strangers packing. Secure our place as division frontrunners. Stay in the race, and then go into the Mariners series with a little bit of gusto. You know what I'm saying? We might not have Ryan Gusto anymore, but we can definitely have the gusto, or the gusto. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Whew. Thank you so much. Shake, that's right. Support the channel, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Mr. Page says, thanks, Go. What a game. What a season. See y'all tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Page. See you tomorrow. Shake says, let's get it. Go Astros. Go Stros. The best team in Texas. That's right. Rusty Gamer says, Go Stros. Brendan, thank you for doing what you do, enjoying the play-by-play. Thank you, and I'm enjoying the nice, positive chat and support from you guys and gals. Thank you so much, and thank you again, Rusty Gamer, for your super chat today. Much appreciated, heavily appreciated. I'm going to get out of here. I'll let you guys and gals go. Go do what you're going to do. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Much love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Go Stros! And that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.